entertainment when the cameras roll. Can you face the pavement for a happy dog and pony show? Everybody loves you, baby. Of course they do. Do you miss me? I miss you. Buy this car to drive to work to pay for this car. Buy this car to drive to work to work. Buy this car to drive to work to pay for this car. Buy this car to drive to work to pay for this car. Say you wanna get in and you're gonna get out, but you won't, 'cause it's a trap. Say you wanna get in, and then you wanna get out. When you get the money to buy yourself a castle, how will you wear your leisure? You zipper back and front on the fence together. Weekends in leather, flip to the right and slip back to the left. For handshakes to the ranch and small talk at the crossroads, driving up to the ladder and sucking on every rung, coming up forever and hanging on. That's entertainment when the cameras roll. Can you face the pavement for a happy dog and pony show? Everybody loves you, baby. Of course they do. Do you miss me? I miss you. Buy this car to drive to work to pay for this car. Buy this car to drive to work to work. Buy this car to drive to work to pay for this car.
The Yellow Brick Road. This video does not reflect the actual views of real people. These are actors playing a role to entertain audiences. No persons or animals were harmed in the making of this video. Gosh, I love YouTube and I love Google.
Welcome to the Yellow Brick Road. I'm Jordan. This is James. And today, Ben Shapiro shits himself because Trump wants less war. I don't know if he wants less war. He probably just wants to get the American heroes out of the Middle East.
Yeah, okay.
We also discussed Candace Owens and Russell Brand, their interesting conversation where one sounds like a semi-quasi new agey mystic with not much grounded answers, and one sounds like they've been trained for years to say the same things over and over again, aka political talking points. So
Big Ben. Big Ben.
yeah,
Look at my bottom lip. Big Ben. Big Ben.
so in this first topic, which is going to be the Ben Shapiro one, if you're a fan of his and you can't smell what's going on yet, I mean, then you're just oblivious, period. I can't trust you with anything. This guy is, as far as everything I've heard from him, he's actively pro-war on every war, including Vietnam
Yeah.
and the Iraq wars.
Yeah, when the government openly admitted that they lied about the boat.
Either one.
Just say it.
Either one.
What was it? The boat. The name of it? Gulf. Oh, no, that's not it.
For Vietnam?
Yeah.
I don't know. Gulf of Tonkin?
That might be it.
Either way.
Alright, hater.
Either way, you can't be pro-war on every fucking war.
No.
Otherwise, you're one of those, like, neocon type guys. And, don't expect Ben to pick up weapons and fight for your freedom. But he'll tell other people to.
Yeah. And he'll indirectly say things as well.
Levi says, U.S. is leaving the Kurds exposed to Turkey. R.I.P. or RIP.
Yep, probably.
Yeah.
All right, let's begin. Let's begin the video with Big Ben. Big Ben and the quivering lip.
Oh, alright, I just want to say something first. Here's the thing. When people look at Middle Eastern policy and all the events that happen there, it's not in a vacuum. There's all these other things that happen first that leads up to these moments. So are you gonna, if you have shit rolling downhill, am I going to, it's got to keep rolling, and then find whatever way to stop it from rolling other than just grabbing the shit and moving it? It's like, oh, I'll put these pile of rocks here. It won't get over the rocks. And it gets over the rocks. Like, oh, here's what we'll do. We'll divert it. We'll wax the floors, and it'll roll downhill sideways, and it'll stop over there.
And then everybody will be safe. Yes.
Like, nope, it's going right through the fucking wax. That won't work either.
Yeah.
So it's at some point you're gonna have to say, okay, someone get a fucking plastic bag, pick the shit up, and let's move on with our lives. These are the consequences of prior actions as far as the Kurds are concerned. It's not just, it's just gonna happen. Like, it was always bound to happen. It's not in a vacuum. It's a event after event after event. So let's just stop the shit now. Why not? All right, so here's Ben Shapiro.
You mean the lip?
Yeah.
The lip. That's his name now.
The lip here will barrage, whatever the word is.
Berate.
Berate? I think that's the word.
Depends what you're gonna.
He's gonna berate Donald Trump for following a campaign promise, which is to leave Syria. Also, he added Afghanistan.
I can't wait to say, we're leaving Afghanistan. Watch out for chemical attacks, guys.
Yeah. Also, watch your nightly news and watch how they react, and how Democrats and Republicans are going to question this call, because, like I said, they don't have to fight in these things.
No.
They don't have to fight in these wars. Ben does not have to fight in these wars. He's more than happy to stand up and say, they want this. This is the right thing to do.
We'll see if Ben is the new O'Reilly.
Yeah. We should have been in Vietnam. We just did it the wrong way. Like, if you have that type of thinking, he's basically a neocon.
Yeah.
All right, so let's hear Ben.
Big Ben, the lip.
President.
Wrong audio. There we go.
Was involved in a giant fail today with regard to Syria. Okay, his Syria policy is just a disaster area. The president said yesterday that he was going to pull American troops out of Syria, and then he went on his Twitter and he issued a statement about it. The statement that he issued is, I mean, frankly, it's egregious. So he says, getting out of Syria was no surprise. I've been campaigning on it for years, and 6 months ago, when I very publicly wanted to do it, I agreed to stay longer. Russia, Iran, Syria, and others are the local enemy of ISIS. We were doing their work, spelling there incorrectly. Time to come home and rebuild. #MAGA.
So, of course, this is a disgusting decision by Donald Trump.
I know, misspelling there.
Well,
Unreal.
getting troops out of Syria.
Yeah.
It's like, how's that a disgusting move? Okay, if you're thinking in purely geopolitical terms, if you're in that vacuum, if your brain and mind and all that is sucked into this vacuum of what's going on there, then you might disagree with Trump. But if you take a moral stance, there is no, like, war is never good, period.
No, never, ever.
Period. And there is no great evil that's keeping us there.
Except
If there is a great evil, we played a part in its creation. Most likely.
on purpose, probably.
Levi says, I think Ben is scared that Israel is left exposed to Iran's influence in the region and how Iran is moving closer to Israel. Yeah, that's probably a big reason.
But hey, when you're funded by the U.S.,
yeah,
I think you'll be safe.
And when you have a nuclear arsenal,
yeah,
you'll be fine there. What I think is they want almost like a proxy control over the Middle East.
Yeah.
That's what I think Israel wants in that area. Like, okay, it's not our flag hanging on their buildings, but it's our guy there.
Yeah.
Same thing with the U.S. Well, I think the people that are angry at Trump, what they want is pipelines built through there.
Yeah.
So that Europe doesn't have to go through Russia or whatever to get oil or gas or whatever the fuck it is. Not an expert. That's just what I heard.
Well, that's what you told me. Told me you're the expert. You knew it.
See, that was yesterday. Today's a different day.
Today
It's the first day of winter, and things have changed.
Okay, well, actually, Russia, Iran, and Syria are not the local enemy of ISIS. They've used ISIS as a rationale for upping their troop presence in Syria. They have no interest in actually getting rid of ISIS.
He made that up. He absolutely just made that up. That they want ISIS around so they can have an excuse to build up military things in the Middle East.
Who?
Iran and Russia.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, that could be a possibility, but the U.S. does the same thing.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
The whole war on terror, whatever the fuck. The war on terror, it's like, a lot of people were thinking they were using that as an excuse to be able to go anywhere in the Middle East. I can just attack your country, or I can just put troops in your country now. Yeah. Because terror, right? Terror has no boundary. It has no state. Like, that's the state of terror right there. We go attack them. Yeah. It's more like this weird thing that has no form to it, which gives you an excuse to go anywhere, even in your own country. Right? But we need the NSA now. We need the Patriot Act.
NATO, help. NATO.
So, yeah, these things would, I can see any of the governments doing this. It's just he won't point out his team.
No, he can't.
He won't point out the U.S. He won't point out Israel. All of a sudden, he loves the Kurds out of nowhere. But who knows? I don't know.
He's a war.
He's I'd say a verbal criminal, if you ask me.
Sure.
He's a verbally moral criminal.
Yeah, I like that better. He's still a worm, though.
Yeah.
Look at him.
All right.
It provides them the international excuse for being there and pursuing their own priorities. Everyone who knows anything about Syria understands this. The Turks have been telling the United States to get out of Syria so they can go in and murder the Kurds. Honestly, if I'm Kurdish, I'm wondering how many times can I just get screwed by the United States? George H.W. Bush promised that we were not going to abandon the Kurds to the whims of Saddam Hussein, and we promptly abandoned the Kurds to the whims of Saddam Hussein. The Clinton administration promised the same. Nothing happened to protect the Kurds. The Bush administration promised that we were going to protect the Kurds in Iraq, and then there was a precipitous pullout by Barack Obama that left the Kurds in the middle of nowhere, basically. And now, the Trump administration had promised solidarity with the Kurds, and they're pulling out so that the Turks can go in and slaughter the Kurds. Like, if you're the Kurds at this point, you just got to think, who the hell am I supposed to trust out here? So we're pulling out, and
constantly, as far as trust goes, constantly distrust this guy. I would say that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think in his mind, what he really wants is a breaking up of the whole middle. Well, if you look at Syria in particular, I think he wants to break it up into pieces to where you still have a Syria state, but then you have like a certain region that's for the Kurds. Fuck, I forgot the other shit. They're somewhat like neutral zones almost. Yeah. And then use that for whatever political shenanigans his team of neoconservatives can get away with. Thus, he's a creep.
To pretend, by the way, that this pullout is militarily beneficial to the United States is asinine. As I mentioned yesterday, having a couple thousand troops in Syria to at least maintain status quo makes a lot of sense. And for folks, well, why don't we just pull out and hand it over? That vacuum is filled by somebody.
And now he's going to equate the Iraq situation with the Syria situation, right?
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Right. Syria still has a government, right? We didn't go to war with them like directly.
No, it was indirect.
There was no bombs over Baghdad situation happening. Not really. Yeah. So that wasn't there. So the power vacuum would be Syria for Syria, and then influence in that region as far as Iran and Russia goes, right? It's like, we helped you out. You got to help us out now. So they have some sort of influence there. But as far as like ISIS and terrorism goes, I don't think they have a foothold there. There's no power vacuum there for them to just grab up.
No.
You got three major like governments.
Yeah.
Like, are they gonna just like, okay, it's power vacuum, we can't do anything. Right? This isn't Libya, this isn't Iraq, where we actually just destroyed their countries and there's nothing left to where a power vacuum happens.
Especially when there's like surrounding,
Yeah.
surrounding opposition. Where
Yeah.
it's like, there's no one around to help you. Power vacuum.
I can't say that name, but I know who that is. The Kurds did backstab Saddam and supported Iran in the Iran-Iraq war, but I'm glad Assad gets to be in power and continue running a secular government. I've said that numerous times, right? Ben won't bring that up. He'll call it a Muslim Islamist state, when really it's secular. Like, this guy got voted in. This is a secular government.
I'm not saying he's not corrupt, but yeah, he got voted in.
The only other thing they have to run to is dictatorship.
Yeah.
But they don't have grounds there, really.
No.
Right?
But
you can hear from Syrian people saying...
He's at a point now that he's gonna call him a dictator. He'll just call him a dictator without any depth to it.
Yeah. They'll call it, like, the Assad regime and shit like that. They'll use words like that. But even though that, like, the people of Syria, from what I've heard, is that it's like, oh, he's not like, he's God. It's more like, I don't really like what he does, but if we want to get rid of him, we'll vote him out. I think that's their stance. Until we started funding, the U.S. that is, started funding rebels.
Yeah.
Rebels sharing things with ISIS. And then that, whatever that is, that swarm starts growing.
Rebels.
Yeah. We stop supporting them. They start shrinking. Syria starts taking back territory. So as far as evidence goes, Syria will be the power grab in the vacuum.
The civil war is coming to an end, and we're leaving, guys. We did it.
Yeah.
Chemical attack.
Yeah.
Oh, look, he gassed his own people. Look at that. It's like, no, how do you know that?
Yeah. And you have, like, see, it's like, I'm trying not to say it, but it's he's so team Israel, possibly. Like, it seems like that. Remember the Golan Heights bombing?
Yeah.
And I was ignorant on the subject, and I looked into it. Golan Heights is actually in Syria, I believe. It's not in Israel. So they have, like, annexed a certain amount of land in Syria.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
So when Syria starts bombing them, it's like, well, you're in their country. I don't agree with bombing, but you're still, if you're going to play the whole, strategic military stuff, you're in their fucking land and you're marking out territory like, oh, this is mine now.
Well, that's what's been happening, especially. You ever see the ever-growing border for Israel and Palestine? It's like, okay, this is mine. Do you see that? The line I made? And you looked away. I put it right here.
Yeah.
Dude, this is mine right here. It's like, remember like when you're playing board game as a kid? It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I was right here. I was right there. Like, no, you weren't, bitch. You were right over here. You're 2 back.
And if someone attacks them, whether it's verbally or militarily, they'll just say, "Oh, you're trying to eliminate the Jewish race."
Yeah.
Because they flip flop on it.
It's playing the anti-Semitic card.
What I hear from these, like, they're basically propagandists with the Israel thing. What they have is that sort of dual sword of. They sort of have that dual sword of. Okay, we're a Jewish state, but we're also like a state, like a secular state. So when someone attacks one end, they can scream the other thing. If I attack you politically, it's you want to eliminate the Jews. And if someone attacks the other direction, like you can't have a Jewish ethno-state. They're like, we're a free, open state. So yeah, they have like that dual weaponry.
Yeah.
As far as an argument goes. There was a town.
Good luck saying that.
Deir ez-Zor that was controlled by ISIS militants, and once it was liberated by the Syrian army, women started to burn their hijabs. Ben is an idiot and a neocon Jew. Fuck.
Well, he's a conditioned fuckwad, you know. He's a conditioned fuckwad.
But I think he's adopted the conditioning and says, that's mine. To which makes him owns the dumb fucking shit he says.
Well, now it's a form of corruption.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Put that water ball down. Good down.
All right, let's hear more.
So it'll be filled by Iran. Okay, so Iran will fill the gap. And now you will have more missiles flowing into Syria, leading to the possibility of a serious conflagration with its neighbors Jordan and Israel. Or you will see more mass slaughter by the Assad regime, leading to mass immigration into Europe.
So there's no evidence for Assad slaughtering his own people. There's nothing that at least on purpose. Obviously, there's like collateral damage and things like that, but there is no evidence of him purposely targeting his own people. So he basically made that up. What was the other point? If Iran takes over territory, there's going to be bombs flying over Syria because it's Iran and they're bad guys. So since Iran's going to have bombs flying over Syria, they might somehow hit Jordan or the country Jordan or Israel. Once again, another not a real argument type of thing.
Yeah.
It really just sounds like a list of excuses to keep war going.
Yeah,
to keep military people.
He's a warmonger. That's what he is.
He's sit behind a fucking desk and tell other people to go die.
He's basically Bill O'Reilly. A new version of Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah. And it's the lamest excuse. It's like,
you know how hard it is to find clips of that dude saying shit? It's really difficult.
Yeah. And
it's identical how they talk, how they skew facts, except this dude doesn't have people on.
Yeah.
You know.
It's very similar to like, oh, the gays are bad. Bad gay people.
Yeah.
but I have gay friends like
yeah,
that.
Yeah. To me, it's like
the troops don't really want to get out of there.
Sure.
I talked to like 3 of them. They don't want to leave.
And then Bill will go like this, like as far as the U.S. invaded Afghanistan, right? That was the first thing they did.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe.
I think so. And something about it didn't make sense, right? It's like, why are you guys invading here?
Now, Afghanistan sort of made sense, as far as if you're targeting terrorism, but Iraq, that one made no fucking sense.
Right. So it's like, okay, you're the army lieutenant. And you're making the case. Well, does it make sense why they're going to Iraq? So go ahead. I'll show you what Bill does. Go ahead.
It does. You want me to make the argument?
Yeah.
That it made no sense.
It made no sense.
Well, Saddam Hussein, who yes indeed was a dictator, he was also killing Al Qaeda members in his country.
No, he wasn't.
We also installed him, I believe, in the 80s.
No, he wasn't. You hate your country and you hate God. That's what he does.
Yeah. That would be this guy.
In memory of your father.
Yeah.
I'm like, you slime. I would have. Like, try to. We're naked.
Yeah. Well,
it's like you.
What can I say? At least he's had people on.
They're the same.
At least he's had credible people on, like debating him to some degree.
Debating him for fucking 5 minutes.
Even though he could cut their mic off, even though he can go to commercial, even though he can end the show. This guy has nothing there except college kids.
Yeah, I know.
Weapons of mass.
Shut up. Shut up. I'm like, dude, I wish I was there.
Weapons of mass destruction. Where were they?
Oh my.
No one knows. Thank you to all the worldwide intelligence agencies that all lied to us simultaneously, to where people were like, there's no way they're all lying at the same time like this. It's almost like they coordinated it or something.
Can you imagine, like, Bush is like, hey there, pretty fat, listen. I think you might have weapons of mass destruction somewhere down there.
Nah.
Might have to go check, go take a look.
Nah. George Bush just stood there, and Dick Cheney walked in and was like, we need to bomb Iraq now.
Ah.
Yeah. All right, let's continue with this.
Which will change the face of politics over there and lead, presumably, to the possibility of further terrorism in Europe itself, because sometimes terrorists hide among the refugees. Right? Or you will see Turkey increase.
So
it's like everything he says.
So us funding Syrian rebels to fight the Syrian government,
based off of conspiracy theory,
created refugees. Okay. So what we need to do is stay there, continue the bullshit, so we can have less refugees.
Because the terrorists might be some of the refugees itself. Yeah. Like, dude, fuck you, man.
See, if you fund the guys that actually target the civilians, you'll have less civilians. Thus, less refugees. It makes sense. It's math. Simple math.
Of course. But then the terrorism.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird. Almost everything that's come out of his mouth, man, it's just bullshit.
Yeah.
Almost everything.
After the U.S. disbanded, the Iraqi army shit hit the fan. Yeah.
Let's continue.
Yeah. And he was speaking of power vacuums, but he doesn't bring that up. Oh, no, he did bring that up. He just compared it in a poorly relative situation. Yeah. All right.
Its sway in the region. Turkey is a nasty imperialist power at this point under Recep Tayyip Erdogan, who's an Islamist thug. Yeah, all of this is just bad policy, and the president is making political policy by tweet. There's an article in the Washington Post today. It says, in April, President Trump repeated his campaign promise to end U.S. military involvement in Syria. I want to get out, he said. I want to bring our troops back home. In September, senior administration aides said at the time the president was persuaded to change course. Some 2,000 U.S. troops would stay in Syria indefinitely, not only until the Islamic State was defeated, but also until a political solution to the overall Syria conflict was in place. And in a key part of Trump's newly announced Iran policy, all Iranian forces and their proxies aiding Syrian President Bashar al-Assad had left the country.
Yeah, it's... Okay. Why did his advisors tell him? Like, he was going to leave. Remember that? Mm. What happened when he announced he was going to leave the last time around?
Chemical attacks.
A random chemical attack happened.
Yeah.
Where
alleged.
Assad allegedly gassed his own people.
Yeah. And
that kept troops there. Trump even, bombed empty air bases or whatever. So there was, the advice to stay in there was because they believed the chemical attack happened.
Yeah.
Or they said it. They said they believed that.
Yeah. It's like, it happened. We know it happened. We have reason to believe. Like, what? I just said, you know it happened.
Yeah. So that's bullshit, first off. What else did you say?
Someone's an Islamic thug.
Oh, that was Turkey, Erdogan.
Political solution to the overall Syria conflict was in place, and in a key part of Trump's newly announced Iran policy, all Iranian forces and their proxies aiding Syrian President Bashar al-Assad had left the country.
So, once again, another play, I think, a play for Israel. That's the only thing he's defending here. Because of Iran and Hezbollah, or whatever the fuck they're called. Right? He doesn't want Iran gaining power in the region because they're Islamic thugs. Thugs, yeah. Because Ben says so. He doesn't explain, he just says he's just a thug. They're thugs. This is a thug. Anyone but these guys are thugs.
Because Ben said so.
On Wednesday, Trump sent heads spinning within his own government and around the world by apparently reversing himself again. And by the way, I can tell you that folks in the White House are confused about this. His decision was made on Tuesday, according to people familiar with the issue, following a small meeting attended only by senior White House aides and secretaries of defense and state, most of whom, if not all, sharply disagreed. We have defeated ISIS in Syria. My only reason for being there during the Trump presidency, Trump announced in a Twitter post early the next morning. Stunned defense and diplomatic officials were left to confirm that Trump had ordered the immediate withdrawal of all U.S. forces. We are also apparently stopping our air operations to protect the Kurds. According to officials in Reuters, U.S. President Donald Trump's order to withdraw U.S. troops from Syria also signifies an end to the U.S. air campaign against ISIS there, U.S. officials told Reuters on Thursday, speaking on condition of anonymity. An end to the U.S.
It's imitating him. It's like, I'm bullshitting, scroll, I'm bullshitting. It's like, dude, you know how many times I hear him spout bullshit? I just want to take that laptop and just crack him in the face with it,
Yeah. Every time
what moral backbone do you have, dude?
Man, every time the U.S. has taken a step back in Syria, ISIS and Al-Qaeda have lost ground. That's been just reported constantly. Well, you know what I mean? Credible sources have said that.
Credible or...
When we bombed Syria, ISIS and Al-Qaeda gained ground in Syria. So it's like, how do I figure this one out? Stop helping the bad guys.
Yeah, the rebels.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
The rebels with ski masks and have surprisingly white skin under those ski masks. Allegedly. It's like, huh?
Yeah. All right.
U.S. air war will likely heighten fears that ISIS, which has lost almost all the territory it once controlled, could be given space to regroup. And this notion, by the way, that ISIS is completely defeated is sheer crap. It's just not true. And the fact is that when Barack Obama idiotically declared ISIS the JV squad, there were like 700 members of ISIS who promptly took over half of Iraq. Right now, there are 20 to 30...
Ben, there basically was no Iraq. We fucked that country up so badly that, yes, 700 people could go in there and start whatever.
Yeah.
Take over territory.
Just What, a bunch of warlords and shit.
Especially if we leave weaponry and shit behind.
Yeah. Oops.
And
Look at that.
Big Toyota trucks and shit like that.
Yeah, the white helmets are slimy shits. You're right.
Yeah, I'm surprised Ben hasn't brought them up.
Yeah.
As a source.
I completely forgot about them.
I'm surprised he didn't bring that up as like a source.
Them? Taking pictures with dead kids and shit.
Yeah.
Like, we're helping you. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna try and glue your ass. It's like, just drama.
Yeah. So, the Iraq, the Libya, those scenarios are completely different than the Syria situation.
Well, it's basically him posing as my bad. Putting up an argument that a lot of people or his fans don't know that much about, just spewing propaganda. It's like, guys, see, it's the same thing. See, I'm explaining it to you. It's a vacuum. He's
using past events that helped get Trump elected in the first place, right? What did Trump say on stage? Like Obama or Hillary created ISIS, something to that degree.
Something like that.
That they played a part in creating it by creating a power vacuum in Iraq. And it's like, he's trying to conflate those two scenarios. Conflate that with the Syrian situation. It's like, no, Syria has an actual government here. Right? They've been pushing back the rebels and the ISIS people. So those are two completely different scenarios. If there's a power vacuum, it's them. It's their country. Now, Iran's going to have more influence there. Russia's going to have more influence there. And very possibly the U.S. is going to have more influence there by pulling troops out. Yeah. And saying, we're done funding these guys. Yeah. That might have major influence with Syria. Well, depending on their egos. Hey, and Assad may be like, you fucked us over. I'm never forgetting that. Yeah, we won now and you got out of the way, but we won because you got out of the way, not because you really helped us. He could go that route. Who knows? All right. Continue.
30,000 active members of ISIS in Iraq and Syria, according to Trump's own Pentagon. Coalition officials say the numbers are inflated, but two other reports by the UN and CSIS independently came up with roughly the same estimation, according to Rukmini Callimachi, who's a correspondent for the New York Times, who covers ISIS.
Yeah,
President Trump in his own Twitter...
The New York Times is credible, a credible source, absolutely.
Yeah, they're credible now. Now they're credible.
North Korea might have influence, too?
I'm not sure. Do you mean the U.S. having influence in North Korea? Let's say we're better off than we were before, but we're still like occupying whatever, like what's it called, a peninsula or some shit like that. We still play like war games and shit in that area.
Yeah, territory.
And it's like, dude, you guys are right there playing with weaponry.
Yeah.
Like, who knows when you want to just...
It's like North Korea. It's like, why you guys play... Why you guys... Hey, guys, we're just pretending to invade. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Don't worry. It's like, what? I don't blame... Like, even... I'm not saying I don't blame them for fucking going like, what the fuck? What I'm saying is, yeah, I can get why they get scared. Because what you people fucking do. Yeah. You people as in the United States government, army, etc., in South Korea. It's like, okay, guys, listen. We're going to hit him in the back of the head. And we're going to practice how we do that. So I was like, what? Nothing. We're just practicing how to hit you in the back of the head. But don't worry. Yeah. It's never going to happen. It's like, why are you practicing it? What's going on? It's like, hey, Amy. Hi. We're just practicing on this dummy how to rape you. Don't worry. It will never happen. So what you're going to do is you just clothesline her. And then I'll pin her down. And then you get ready. And see, it's like, would you fucking trust them? I wouldn't.
Especially when they have...
I wouldn't.
Like, there's TVs and internet in North Korea, too.
Yeah.
They can see what happened in Iraq. They can see what happened in Libya when they start giving up their weapons and shit like that.
Putin already said that Syria is 90% liberated.
Putin did. I believe Syria is saying the same thing. Iran's probably there, too. But I have no idea.
Me either.
I have no idea. But from what I've seen... the Russian reports have been the most accurate, as far as I've seen. Like, they've gone into bunkers of the rebels and seen, like, why are there U.S. markings on these missiles here?
Yeah, I know. Like, how the fuck did you get that?
Yeah.
Like, where'd you get that from? Not only that, Rex.
Some people say the CIA.
Fucking war zones. Like, how come these missiles have the U.S. Army?
Yeah, some journalists.
What's going on here?
Some journalists went into Syria and looked at, like, the whatever, like bomb shelters and shit. And then read all the numbers off each missile. Yeah. Called the company and asked them, "Are these yours?" Yeah. And they're like, "Yeah." So
name a company. Can you name one?
Or he tracked the.
Can you name one?
One of the bombing companies?
Yeah.
Weaponry. I don't know what that one is specifically.
It's like
I know, like.
Hello, welcome, U.S. Army Death and Destruction. How can I take your order? It's like.
Maybe something like Raytheon or something. I don't know.
Whatever.
I don't know.
Whatever. We're not experts.
Yeah, fuck them anyways. All right, continuing.
Twitter feed basically acknowledged that ISIS has not been defeated, saying that Russia and Iran and Turkey were going to take on ISIS now. So they've been defeated, but they're still going to be fighting ISIS.
But
because I think he's looking at it in a trending sense of the word. Like, okay, they had full ISIS, 100% of them. Okay, the U.S. stopped doing this thing. 2 months will go by. It's at 80%. 2 months later, it's at 60%. It's like, okay, it's trending downward. So he's saying they're basically defeated. That's what I think his argument is. Like, it's like 10 seconds left, and the fucking fires got blown out each round. Right? 10 seconds left in the last round. It's like you got the shit kicked out of you for 4 rounds and 4 minutes and 50 seconds of the last round. Yeah. So it's like, okay, you lost basically.
Oh no, not if you pulled Derek Lewis.
Everything else is pageantry.
It's just.
All right, continuing.
How the fuck does that happen?
You have to explain that one. Well, in just a second, I'm going to get to President Trump's statement on Syria. He made an open statement about Syria that is really pretty egregious.
Pause it.
Honestly.
He's going to sell me some sort of... He's going to try to sell me some shallow-ass cream that's going to hide my face, portions of my face, so that way I can conform to society.
He's already selling something, right? As soon as he puts...
you know what I mean, but yeah.
As soon as he puts words out, like, it's just egregious. When he says that, he's taking his fans and saying, this is a immoral action Trump is doing by doing this. Yeah. He's calling it immoral to move towards less war
later on
and less conflict.
He's going to say it later, but this proves that he's a coward.
All right.
Like, he says some shit about the troops saying, yeah, they said this. They said it'd be cowardly to leave. I'm like, you're a fucking piece of shit. I don't say that a lot, you know.
Jimmy Dore style.
What?
It's like, these guys are pieces of shit. Trying not to say that word anymore.
No, I'll say shit.
No, I mean, like, call people pieces of shit.
Yeah, because they're the person, you know what I mean? Well, for me, it's different. So, Ben, he's a piece of shit. You know?
Let's hear some advertising.
I'm sorry to be such a downer right before the Christmas break, but the news is what the news is. First, let's talk about your air quality. Around the country, millions of Americans are turning up the furnace for the first time and then spending a week freezing at night. Why? Because they neglected to change out their air filters and their system failed. This costly mistake is completely avoidable.
Well, some people just can't afford it, right, Ben? Right? Because
he does this.
What a fucking weasel.
On things that you would think he's taking seriously.
Yeah.
And he cuts himself off to sell you air conditioner filters. That's real. He's really doing that.
Yeah. He tried to sell me some superficial neck cream that your fucking mom uses. You know, not, his mom. Wow, Ben,
I mean...
what a fucking fathead.
There's an article about Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
I believe it was in Variety.
Yeah.
And they're talking about how he's basically essentially like a corporate creation.
Yeah, he is. corporate created PR.
A money-making machine.
Yeah, it's basically like a pop star. It's like, all right, you can sing a little bit, and that's good. But listen, we're going to write your songs. We're going to change your wardrobe. We're going to dye your hair. And you're 19. You're a girl. Okay, we're going to dye your hair blonde. You're going to be the American dream. You're a virgin, even though we know you're not. Definitely know you're not. And if you're going to do drugs, then you can do them in the back. But if anybody asks, you don't do drugs, okay?
Yeah.
And then here's a puppy. It's mine, but you can go with that out in public and hold them with your left hand and right hand waves. See, it's everything. It's like corporate created. And it's not you. It's a bunch of people behind you.
And here's the thing, right? If the goal is to make money, he has no room for change, right? If you take a guy like Owen Benjamin, right? I can look at him and say, like, if he figures something else out, he'll go back and tell people, like, I was wrong about this or whatever. You can see a humility there. Him, he's so structured and corporate looking that he'd have to disappear completely.
Yeah.
If he debated someone just embarrassed him, he'd be just gone. Straight up. To where he had to like admit something or whatever, he'd be done for.
That's why if anybody ever that's strictly anybody that's actually legitimate actually gets him in a public format where he can't fucking run away, or else he's a coward little bitch, but he already is one. So if that ever happens, either you're going to see some massive cognitive dissonance by him and his fans to absolutely refuse whatever the fuck he was saying, but it's going to take someone that actually knows morality, a good amount of moral intelligence, a good amount, and as well as the amount of facts, just to absolutely wipe everything he says.
Yeah.
So it's basically a Ryan Dawson and no, I would say Tessarian, but I've been questioning him lately. So, but you get the point.
Yeah.
I mean, your genetics only take you so far, so I couldn't possibly have a good conscience and put you up there on that podium.
This was one of Trump's promises in his campaign to pull out of Syria.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I don't trust him.
That's a huge reason that got him elected.
Yeah.
Because everyone was worried about Hillary.
Warmongering. No-fly zone.
The no-fly zone in Syria.
Yeah.
People were worried about that. They're also worried about funding the rebels in Syria.
Yeah.
Like everyone has a fucking internet, man.
She came.
And there's journalists that don't give a fuck.
He came. We came. We saw. He died. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
And fuck that fucking pinhead journalist. You left too.
Yeah, I was Libya.
Whatever.
A man being sodomized with a fucking machete.
Yeah.
Yeah. Laughing about it.
There's video
off camera laughing
and
about it.
there's video of it too.
Yeah. Alright. I'm gonna skip this fucking advertisement shit. Alright.
Well, if you order them that way, so go check them out right now. Filterby.com. So President Trump.
I wouldn't be surprised if they don't sleep. They have some sort of machine that keeps them hydrated throughout the night and shit. Their central nervous system is so foreign to ours. It's just like, all right, Hillary, we're turning on the machine. Okay.
See, here's the thing. You get a video talking about dreams. A video with an interview with some lady, and I'm like, it's like, nothing, Ben? Nothing going on here?
Yeah.
I'm like, you must have really buried that shit.
Yeah.
It's buried far away to where your ego has to forget when you wake up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you have dreams and then you wake up, you don't really remember them. Or people sleep and then it's just like it's almost like a black screen to them.
Well, lately it's been more of I can.
Yeah. But
it's more of experiencing it rather than watching a movie play out in front of me.
Yeah.
That's now.
So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he has some weird dream. If you ever... See, here's the thing with dreams. You have to, like, unlock something in order to get there, right? If you suppress, like, a trauma as a kid, you have to bring it up into your consciousness first, in your conscious mind, in order to dream about it and battle it there. Otherwise, you can just keep burying and suppressing and
it's like
all
for
that.
me when I was younger, it's like
okay, your ego's like, okay, you can't handle this, so
when I was younger,
we'll go light on you.
When I was younger, it was the bear from Barney.
And on that note, more Ben.
I'm being serious.
issues a video yesterday on his Twitter feed all about his policy in Syria. And here is what he had to say.
We've been fighting for a long time in Syria. I've been president for almost 2 years, and we've really stepped it up. And we have won against ISIS. We've beaten them, and we've beaten them badly. We've taken back the land, and now it's time for our troops to come back home. So our boys, our young women, our men, they're all coming back, and they're coming back now. We won, and that's the way we want it, and that's the way they want it.
Wait, who? Who's they?
The aliens. That's what that space program's for. But
Space Force.
But yeah, how do you?
Space Force.
How do you get anything but something positive from that? Other than, like, obviously he's like, we're pulling them out of Syria to put them back in Iraq. Like,
Yeah, no.
that would be different.
Yeah.
Or if he's bringing them home to put them at the
Iran.
border. Yeah, or Iran.
I think Iran's next.
They very well
honest.
could be.
Yeah.
But as far as this trend goes, like all his, not all, but most, I'd say like 90% of Trump supporters, they all seen the fucking Wesley Clark video.
Yeah.
Where he's like, we want to go to war with 7 countries in 5 years. Everyone's fucking seen that shit.
Yeah.
As far as his support base.
Yeah.
So those guys are aware of what's going on. And then you're going to have Alex Jones like, what the hell is he doing? You have that too.
He's done it before. Yeah.
So if he, goes on another military brigade with some other seemingly false flag event,
Yeah.
his supporters are all over that. A lot of them are into conspiracy type things anyways. Just saying. All right. Here's Ben's response to Trump wanting to bring troops out of some other country.
No, he's not in.
Bring them home to their families.
That he's not in. That he's not in.
Yeah.
Okay, then when he says that that's the way they want it, and he points to heaven, as though the soldiers who served in Syria would definitely back his policy, this is something that politicians are not allowed to do. You're not allowed to do this. It was bad when Obama did it. It's bad when Trump does it. You don't get to say what the soldiers really want is to come home.
Pause.
But
you do, right?
Yeah. I mean,
fuck what? Christ.
It's like, what do you say to that? It's just on one on top of another of just like, how pro-war could you possibly get? Like supremely pro-war. Like I said in the beginning, even like the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
He was okay with going in. He just felt differently about how you'd go about it.
I'm pretty sure the United States admitted that ship being shot down and sunk in, that never happened.
We should have used Hellfire missiles instead of napalm.
Look, now we have drones. They should have used drones.
Yeah. Yeah, this guy, as fake, as corrupt in action as you could possibly get for a person who just sits in front of a microphone.
Yeah.
Because we all know he won't be out there on the battlefield.
Or the metaphysical one either.
He'll look for whatever soldiers support his idea,
Yeah.
and he'll quote them.
Yeah.
Creep.
It's going to be like, you remember Rampage Jackson, the Ultimate Fighter?
Yeah.
He just kept fucking with that one dude. He was playing around with him, right? Like, just joking around. He got in his face. It's like, now he's going to stick with that shit.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, titties, hey, titties. Because the fighter was kind of big, right?
Yeah.
He just kept calling him titties every chance he got. So with him, it's like, hey, ain't no conscience. What's going on?
Yeah.
The audacity to say years ago, it's like, oh, you're sitting on the graves of the graves of children, Pierce. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Fucking quivering little fucking wet bitch.
He never goes out of his way to point out the realities of war because it's not profitable to do that.
No.
Doesn't make money doing that.
I mean, I don't know. I was gonna say something as far as like when he was younger, right? Before the whole transformation with the haircut.
Oh, he was already like if some CIA guy walked up to him, I work for the CIA.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Here's all the intel.
I'm sure.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, independent journalists, no.
That's what I'm saying.
You're just leftist.
I think you've always been like that, dude. You know?
Alright, let's continue.
As far as, like, no, I'm not gonna say he ain't hopeless, but, you know, as far as, like, socially concerned, like a hopeless fuck. That's what you are.
Let's continue.
Fuck.
I'm getting letters from soldiers today. I'm getting letters from people who served in Syria. And they're saying we're abandoning our Kurdish allies. These are people who have fought with us, alongside us, saving American lives, fighting next to us in these places.
You hear the tears rolling out?
Yeah.
She played Norman Finkelstein.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear from you and your crocodile tears.
Yeah. Please shut up. You know where Ben stores his tears? In that hunchback of his. That's where he stores them. Fucking camel ass, you know. That's where he stores the water, the fake tears.
Continuing.
It's time to use them.
Continuing.
They're saying we are abandoning this country. We're abandoning our mission. Not only are we abandoning our mission, we're actually exposing the West to greater threat because as ISIS gains power, they don't just stay there. How many ISIS attacks have we seen in the West over the past 7 years since...
Real quick, what's our mission? I thought we went there because the whole thing back in like 2011 or something like 13?
Yeah.
Where they had like uprisings, people protesting, and then it turned violent.
Yeah.
And then Assad started gassing his own people. Allegedly. And then we had to help the rebel guys fight back against this powerful dictator regime.
Yeah.
So I thought that's why we were in Syria in the first place. Mm-hmm. And then also you do have the ISIS situation going on. Mm-hmm. But yeah. I don't know, like, doesn't make sense. I don't know. Doesn't make sense to me. All right, continuing.
Barack Obama finished his pullout from Iraq. And it's unseemly at the very least to be suggesting to use the authority of people who are dead to back your own political program, almost no matter what the political program is unseemly at the very best and gross at the very worst. It's just...
That's what you do, Ben.
Yeah.
No matter what, right? No matter what, you're on that team.
I'm hearing him saying this, and I'm scanning my mind for, like, this has happened. Like, you've done this, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Again, none of this holds. None of this holds. The Syrian policy doesn't make any sense. There was no great demand to pull 2,000 troops out of Syria except by Rand Paul, who's an isolationist. And once the situation has been solidified, why you would abandon that for Turkey is beyond me. And that's the other thing, is that there are reports today that President Trump really...
Wrong one. Never mind.
He's also saying that Trump is doing this for Turkey. Mm-hmm. But Trump promises on his campaign trail, as one of our commenters has said. Mm-hmm. So, was he working for Turkey then? Is that the conspiracy now?
I don't know.
I don't know.
He's pushing conspiracy out there hard. He's a conspiracy channel.
That's it's one comment to the next is just like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, dude.
You are really you got a boner for people being killed.
Oh, dude, he's a neocon dick up his ass.
Or the right guys being killed.
Yeah. He
has a boner for it. And it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's just blowjobs for Ben all day long. It's like, are you a neocon too? Like, really, you gotta wonder what kind of moral backbone does this guy have, really?
If you're a fan of Ben Shapiro, really look into this guy. Don't look at the Ben Destroys videos. Don't look at him.
The Thug Life compilations, you know.
Don't watch him debating college kids.
Yeah.
Watch him on his own. What is he pro of, right? He's clearly anti the whatever, you're a man, that shit.
Yeah.
Or, overly
he's a Republican.
Political correctness or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Black Panther, throw it in there.
Yeah.
Issues like that he's against. What is he pro for? Look at those issues.
Yeah.
See, a lot of it seems to be around war. As far as, the most glaring thing to me.
Yeah. And watch what happens when someone disagrees with one of his, some of his points of view. Watch how someone disagrees against some of the decisions of the Israeli government. and watch how they're immediately called an anti-Semite.
Yeah.
And watch how someone disagree with someone say you're a Zionist. Let me tell you why that's stupid. Okay, you're anti-Semitic. It's like, dude, what the fuck? What? Like, dude, how the fuck do you tuck your kids in at night? How do you do it? I wonder. Well, I seriously wonder that.
He's a machine of political talking points, and he can also ad-lib quite a bit, as we can see.
You're right.
Right? When the topic is like Ben, this seems so obvious. Right?
Yeah.
Like, getting troops out of Syria sounds like a good idea to me. That doesn't mean stop fighting ISIS.
Yeah.
It means get out of another country's fucking land. Right? It's not Iraq.
Yeah.
This isn't Iraq where there's no whiff of like a real government there.
Yeah.
It's not even Afghanistan where it's like there's no whiff, or Libya. This is different. But he's still just pro-war no matter what. Remember when I said like...
He's pro-death.
Remember when I said like somewhere in the back of his head he's probably like, if we got rid of all the Muslims, I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, remember that tweet he did?
Yeah.
And no one wants to talk about that? Guys, it was an old tweet. I'm like, dude, you fucking said it.
Yeah.
You fucking said it. And you probably still feel the same way. Probably. Give me evidence to support the theory that you do.
Now, he may feel that way in the sense of he feels like he's under threat because he's Jewish. But it still doesn't excuse it on a moral level.
No.
Does not excuse it. All right.
He did this in order to appease the Turks. That basically he had a phone call with the Turks, and the Turks said, you know what, why don't you withdraw? And President Trump was like, you know what, why don't I withdraw? Like, that is unacceptable. The Turkish government is one of the worst actors in the Middle East. I know there are a lot of bad actors in the Middle East. The Turkish government is definitely one of them. The only potential upset in recent days, according to the Washington Post, was a threat by the Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, who spoke with Trump at the Group of 20 summit 3 weeks ago and again on the telephone Friday to send troops across the border to attack the U.S. allied Kurdish forces in northeast Syria. Officials with familiar with the Friday call said that Erdogan, among other things, had stressed to Trump that the Syrian Kurds were terrorists allied with Kurdish separatists in his own country and asked why the United States was supporting them rather than its NATO ally. The answer...
So, this is all about the Kurds, right? That's Ben's big idea about it, right? That's the moral scenario going on here. It's we need to protect the Kurds. We made promises to them. We need to protect them. That's bullshit. I think that's absolute bullshit as his reason for why we should stay there. I mean, seriously. Are you buying that at all?
Him supporting what?
The Kurds against Turkey.
I don't buy anything he says. I can't.
You can see him almost trying to trick the audience, right? You see Trump leaving Syria just because of Turkey, because Turkey told him so. He's turning it into that scenario, which means the Kurds, being hurt. Yeah, the Kurds being attacked or whatever by Turkey. Now he's using that as the moral stance of, but what about the Kurds? They could die. There's kids there.
Yeah, that's what a creep does.
It's like, is that really your true prime motive? You're that nice to the fucking Kurds, or you're that friendly with them. Have I heard him talk about them before? Have you? Where's your video?
He said bullshit. He only cares about Israel. Well, here's the thing, though. Even that, it's like, do you really even care? Like, truly care about Israel? Because I think it's something that, as far as when he was throughout the majority of his life, he's been conditioned or brainwashed, whatever you want to call it, to the point it's like, this is you, this is you, this is you, this is you, this is what you believe, and you're gonna shove your conscience down your throat when you make these when these moral decisions come up. Like, just no.
Yeah.
Remember what we taught you. So it's like, I don't think he really cares about. Who knows if he really cares about anything, truly. That's the place that no one wants to go.
He doesn't care about morality, that's for sure.
Right? Like, if you're
not real morality, he cares for whatever his team in winning.
No, it's the morality that he was given, the rules he was given, which is why I would say, it's like, he says I can't love. I'm like, yeah, I don't think you know what that means. Yeah. Because if you're pro-war, then you can't convince me.
You can hear the cognitive dissonance of him trying to avoid being like an identitarian.
Yeah.
He's trying. Like, he's saying all these other things, but it's really to support this one thing over here, which could be Israel. The U.S. and Israel. Like, I won't say it, but I'll say all these other things.
Yeah.
That are basically in support of this country over here.
Yeah, remember. Yeah, the other thing you gotta remember is when he was a kid, John Adams. Remember
I'm
that?
not an identitarian.
When I was a kid, I dressed up as John Adams for like 6 years.
Stop the identity politics.
Like, you're the fucking you're the king.
Yeah, there were scenarios where you couldn't
That's
avoid
insane.
it.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, it's we're gonna move on to the next story, which might get just as bad.
Yeah. Right back.
I gotta timestamp this real fast. So. We are at, I'll say 106. Okay, for our next story, we have Russell Brand and Candace Owens in a discussion / debate, and I have problems with both. Now, the problems with Russell Brand are going to be a little lighter. Candace Owens, I think, is just a talking head with talking points that someone else gave her. They don't sound authentic. They don't sound so authentic. The only authenticity you hear from Candace Owens is when she's making excuses and reasons for why that said taught idea is the right way to go. Right? She can ad-lib around ideas that were given to her. Now, Russell Brand is more of a, I don't want to say like woo-woo, leaning. I'd say sort of woo-woo leaning, but he doesn't have what I would think is the schematics of an argument for that said woo-woo, right? I think he could honestly destroy Candace Owens in an argument if he had the words and schematics and the structure in his words to put them against Candace Owens' ideas, which are just right-wing talking points. Let's be honest. I'll wait for James to get here before I start playing this. Hurry up!
You staring at it? Oh.
I'm waiting for you. I'm not going to play the video yet. Alright, so before I start, what do you think of Russell Brand and Candace Owens? Just them as individuals, as far as your idea of them.
I mean, I don't know that much about Russell Brand, but I've been hearing he's kind of diving into spirituality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably ignorant.
That's what I said. He doesn't. He has like.
Oh, I wasn't done.
I was gonna say.
No, you weren't gonna say nothing.
I was saying how he has like the feeling, almost like a Kanye West situation, where they have the feeling, but the structured argument isn't there, which I think would destroy fucking Candace Owens in a heartbeat.
I did see him on Bill Maher. Remember that?
Yeah.
So he kind of like threw them for a loop, seemingly, even though it's like I don't know if you have the correct ammunition.
Oh, he has the right ammo. It's just he's doing it with a blindfold on.
Well,
shooting with a blindfold on. Yeah, there's no structure to it.
Right. Candace Owens seems like a heavily conditioned individual person.
Yeah.
That I would say thinks she's an individual. It turns out she isn't, because she's basically taken on this a condition. I'm just gonna say this: a conditioned person, conditioned heavily in the whole Republican mindset.
Yeah.
Where it's just, oh, these are my ideas and these are my morals. Like, oh, those are Republican talking points.
Yeah.
Who are you? Like, what else are you?
What I said was
lacking existentialism heavily.
What I said was her ideas. She has these structured right-wing talking points, and her individuality only shines or shows itself when she's trying to argue for those things. Like if someone asks a question that's not in the handbook, she'll bring it back to those talking points. She'll bring the argument back to that direction, so she has a fill-in-the-blank answer. Matt Hunter says, I wonder whose side you will be on, the leftist or the rightist. Snicker.
Oh, someone still thinks that way, huh? Boo-hoo for you, Matt. Did you read the Owens is a dumbass who thinks climate change is fake?
Oh, shit.
Did you read that?
No, I didn't. Yeah. I took her down a tick, right?
Yeah.
With her discussion with Rogan.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, really? You don't believe in climate?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Alright, so.
Yeah. You want to dive into that? A little, I wonder whose side you'll be on?
Oh, he's fucking with us.
Well, it's funny because Matt will hear like one thing, just goes out the other ear.
Well, it's a filter.
Mm-hmm.
It's some sort of filter, and then it comes out.
I got you.
Like, oh, that's it.
So
that's what they're saying.
So ready? Translate this.
You are pro-black no matter what, aren't you?
Translate this. Yeah, say U.S. imperialism is something that should be looked into. Say that.
U.S. imperialism is something that we should look into.
Matt Hunter filter. Oh, wicked white men, huh? Well, we'll see about that.
Yeah.
But I bet you believe that too.
Anyways, let's watch this video.
Yeah.
Populist revolution. Will it go left or right? Candace Owens and Russell Brand.
Person to say, yeah, that for me aligns with the way that the media functions in perpetuating certain narratives. And whilst you say the
Also, I apologize for starting it at a random point in the middle of the video. I just wanted to skip over the life stories and all
Banter,
that. Yeah.
Situation of the victim narrative is disempowering African Americans or perhaps even black people worldwide. I'm not fully sure of how or the breadth of your philosophy. I think it is what do I want to say? Myopic to suggest that the powerful cultural narratives and historic oppression don't play a part in people's current economic poverty, whilst the way out of that I would accept would be individual culpability and individual will. Not everyone has that.
Right.
Not everyone has that. Not everyone has that drive, that power. Some people need support. Now,
I disagree with Russell here. Everyone has the capability of growing and that individualism and containing it and all of that. It's just what I see in the world is there's only a certain type of either intelligence or a certain type of personal pursuit that is going to be successful financially, because they're basically talking about finance here, right? How much money do you have? Do you have to live in a hut, or do you live in the top of the skyscraper?
Mm-hmm.
And some people's talents do not get to flourish here because we only value certain things. If you put the value on the individual, then all pursuits would be valued, as far as the non-harmful ones. Even the harmful ones would be valued. You have to care about it in order to break it down and say it is bullshit.
Yeah, it has to be presented.
Yeah. Both of you are the beneficiaries of U.S. imperialism. No. But would we complain about it if it was a true benefit? No. So how's it a benefit? I don't get it. It's like, well, you get to live in a house, you get to eat food, you get water.
Matt must have hit his head because he brings up these arguments a lot. He just rewords them.
Well, I think you're seeing things through a tunnel, man. You got tunnel vision. Need to go step outside and get some fresh air, man. See what's going on.
Both of you are
metaphorically speaking. You don't actually have
to
leave your house.
The real reason why you're here, James Jordan, is because of war and destruction.
No.
Worship it.
Believe it or not, morality is how things progress. Oh, what a surprise.
Morality? You mean the...
In a war, why am I good and they're bad? Oh, morality. That's how you get people to get up in numbers and fight, right? Or we want resources. We want to survive. Why do we want to survive? To exist. Moral thing. We want our people to exist, even if it's highly like tribalism.
He just bounces around topics trying to get an argument out of you guys. Yeah, I don't mind though. I don't mind at all.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because every time an argument is how would I say is presented, it should be taken in consideration. No, not even that, because it should be I will argue, whatever. So that's the right thing to do, to disregard something like no. Every point should be presented. Why not?
Occupy says, I think we should improve society somewhat. First off, Occupy. Haven't seen you in a while. You get one of these.
Oh, I'll do that. Yo.
You get a McGregor thingy.
Yo.
Yeah. Yeah, it's as simple as it gets, and coincidentally the most obvious. We should improve things.
I would even say somewhat. It has to be a fucking complete, It's
it's
basically like, if you ever see Dumb and Dumber, where he just Hershey's all over the bathroom, it's like, hey, shit everywhere. It's like someone needs to get a hose and just. That's what I mean. A complete revamp, completely.
Yeah, everyone's got to do that to themselves. Find all the shit going on and clean that shit up.
Yeah.
All right, let's continue with this.
The role of the state and the veracity of the state's intentions are certainly things I question as well. Do I think that the Democrat Party are super kind, wonderful people? Well, let's have a look at the last 20 years. How did that work out? How were African Americans treated under Barack Obama? We've got the evidence. The data's in. Neither party works particularly well. But for me to deny that there is an impact of social, economic and historic conditions on the individual experience of people, and and those conditions are not affected by race, for me, I don't think that's true, Candace.
No, well, first off, I want to go to your two articles because you used the word myopic. Okay, you used a sample of two articles to come up with this great conclusion. Is every single I understand that. Is every single article about a black person buying a house negative? Or did you find one that was and do a comparative analysis? Hold on. Is every single article of a white person buying a house positive? Or did you find an article of a white person positive, and now you've used this to say that this means that every single white person that an article is written about is true or false?
Just so you know, she's later on going to say something about socialism. Well, look at Mao. Look at Venezuela. So she does the same shit.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know. It just seems obvious that there's, that's the ad-libbing I'm talking about, right? Right? You have the talking points, and you need something else besides just talking about it. You need some form of individual thought to come in. So what she does, she takes that argument and tries to pull it back to the talking points. So it seems like she has a case.
The right's argument to improve society somewhat is, you live in society. Brand just wanted to ban Candace Owens, and he did. Bang.
Oh, fuck. I think there was some flirting going on.
Maybe.
That's right.
I thought she was religious.
Yeah.
Ugh.
No, I don't think she's religious.
Oh, no, she isn't?
Not like that. I think she just, says a non-answer. I'm Christian.
I got you.
That can mean 8 billion different things.
Gotcha.
Says nothing about their actual beliefs.
At least he has grapes. Literally right there. See him in the bowl?
Yeah. All right, continuing.
I have a problem with this data set, and this is what we see over and over again. It's the same thing that they do when they extract the 16 unarmed black men that are shot and killed by police officers every year. Forget to mention that there's a higher rate for white people. You did the exact same thing that I can't stand.
Listen. It was actually Raheem Sterling.
I found two articles.
Get Raheem
this
Sterling.
now must be a universal truth. I'm Russell Brand. I found two articles.
You better calm down, because firstly, it was Raheem Sterling that did that.
So that counts for, times it by 1,000.
No, hold on. What I'm saying is I'm going to get Raheem Sterling's number, and you can bull him out, because he's probably better equipped to deal with it.
This is how the media creates a simulation. One side by side, and now it's universal truth here on the Russell Brand.
Oh, you're amazing.
Yeah.
Listen to me for a second, please. What I'm saying is, is that whilst, of course, all of us can construct narratives by selecting information that supports our idea, Raheem Sterling didn't do this in Abyss. On the Saturday, someone screams racial abuse at him. On the next day, he goes, "Oh look, I'm not surprised because I experience a lot of this treatment at a subtler level in the way that I'm handled in the press." This is his personal experience that Raheem Sterling is recounting. And then we look at the rest of the information and say, "Oh, what does it seem to be like for young black men in England? Are there any commonalities economically? Are there any judicial or criminal issues where there's a commonality?" It's not just that these narratives are being cherry-picked. There is also the data is on incarceration of young black men in America, for example.
We disproportionately commit crimes in America. So are we not supposed to be arrested because we're
black?
But
you're doing the same thing there, Candace. You're extracting that bit of data without saying, well, what are the economic conditions of most young black men in America?
But now we're agreeing.
And what's the history?
You're missing this. Now you're missing this. I agree that we are economically depressed as black Americans. What I'm talking about, what we disagree on is the solution. Okay?
Well, you don't know what I think the solution is.
So we've been economically depressed because we've bought into the myth that government's going to fix our problems. We have disproportionately been voting for Democrats for the last 60 years.
And this is the Republican talking points that she got from somewhere else, basically.
Matt Hunter, the left's argument is to improving society is to remind blacks how wicked white people are.
Jimmy Dore?
Yeah, look at that.
Cornel West. Chris Hedges. Abby Martin? Are they the left? Are they leftists? Or do you just mean Don Lemon? What? Chris Cuomo? What? Hillary Clinton? What? Kamala Harris? What? Barack Obama? What? Sorry.
Poor argument. Occupy. She is hot. I'd grudge fuck her. Ugh.
I think she's hot. I'm not gonna lie. But the talking points are just like.
Here's the thing for me now. It's like, I'm not saying she's not attractive. I'm just saying like, to have a full satisfaction, I need to know that you're not an asshole.
Yeah.
Maybe like 5 years ago,
yeah.
Now it's like, it's basically like, here's an omelet. There's supposed to be cheese here. It's like, no, it's an omelet. There's no cheese. Fuck this. You can flip the plate like, fuck. There's no satisfaction here.
All right, so let's hear the talking points.
Okay, so all of our problems are because black Americans disproportionately take welfare programs. We disproportionately.
So we might not disagree on the solution.
I guess we're not disagreeing.
Let's all vote
in this
Democrat.
moment, that's right. So I guess
you'll never get away with that if you don't have an accent, sweetie. Love, listen.
Yeah. With her, yeah.
I don't know.
That's one of our crusades. Is political correctness.
What makes a talking point automatically wrong?
It doesn't make it wrong. What makes it, off to me is...
Or alarming.
Is where's the individuality?
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So then it becomes like a weird scenario. Like, are you actually talking?
Yeah. Is it you or is
this book talking for you? Or this person?
This book or this person giving you ideas, you know, that you have no depth to.
Yeah.
Where if someone's like, when does the individualism, when does that take place in your plan?
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah.
That's when things turn to like dead values and dead ideas. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah.
They show up, they're here on the surface, but when you pick away at them, there's nothing there.
It's like, fuck, we need to reproduce. We're running out of people. There's no more babies being born on the world.
Yeah.
I found this lady here. Maybe she will. It's just a dead body floating around. Oh. Will that work?
She'll expose herself soon. You'll see in the video.
We can't grow from this thing.
It's like, maybe
it's dead already.
He's like a guy named Seymour.
Yeah.
Some sort of name like that. It's like, maybe if I just pretend. Let me see it. Like,
yeah, Matt, go watch our video on with Eric Fromm about real love.
Oh, but he'll probably say, well, I don't have to.
and then go watch Batman Begins. You have to become the idea. Otherwise, there's something. I think there's something innate that people can just smell. It's like, what is that?
It's called a pretender.
It's like, it smells like water. There's nothing here. What's going on? All right, continuing.
This one we're not disagreeing.
Another comment.
What Matt Hunter again? What would a society where every single individual had differing political opinions look like?
Had differing political opinions. Well, what are political opinions, right?
Options.
Are political options. Those are moral options, I would say. Mm-hmm. Right? Other than like, well, even that too. I think it all boils down to a moral argument. Thus, if there's an objective morality, then there would be common ground on things.
Again, that's why politicians should be the representatives of, like, say who amount of people or wherever, but they are the moral champions for that.
Yeah,
that's what they should be.
If there's only enough, let's say there's two like neighboring communities, and they both need roads built, but there's only enough resources for one road to be built. Mm-hmm. That's when it becomes a moral art. Like, okay, you guys are all, in the prime of you're all 20-year-olds that are fit athletes, and then this other side has old people and babies. It's like, my moral thing is maybe the babies and the old people should have the roads, so they can, easy, smooth ride in their cars and shit like that, while us fit 20-something-year-olds, like, okay, we'll take the rocky road for now, and then hopefully things will change in the future to where we both have roads.
Occupy. I'm just gonna do this from now on. That's kind of fucking sus. I'll just do this. Yeah. Talking points come from a central place, and that is what is wrong. It's not everyone's different opinions, the oligarch's opinions. And he says, yep, it's all about morality.
Yeah. Or at the very least, it should be about morality.
Matt Hunter's talking to Occupy. Yeah.
We'll let the savages fight at each other while we bickering behind the scenes, come up with a plan. Mm-hmm. Let's hear more talking points. Yeah.
Saying that I'm ignoring the fact that they've been economically depressed, and that economical depression then leads to higher crime rates. I agree with all of that. Okay.
It doesn't in reality, but Yeah.
What we disagree on, or perhaps what people disagree with me on a lot, are the solutions for it. Okay? And I point out the fact of how we got here.
What's your solution?
Your analogy is a fallacy. What kind of society would only have old people and babies?
Are you putting rules on my hypothetical society? How dare you?
If only had a guitar, like, and Mike, it's like, Matt Hunter, you're exposing yourself. It's called an analogy, you dumb fuck. An example. Your underlying message behind it.
You just cinema sin me right there. Mm. Ding. That doesn't make sense. Ding.
I'm better. Ding.
All right.
And I'm awesome. 200. Ding.
Continuing.
If you don't understand how we got here in terms of buying into the idea that the government was going to fix everything.
Oh, right. Now, because you think it's all this victim mentality stuff.
It is, and they've been able to sell. The easiest person to sell socialism to is a wealthy person. Go to Hollywood. They're like the number one socialist because they feel guilty about
socialism.
It's true. No.
Once again, it's about socialism instead of just, this is bad. This is a bad idea.
Yeah.
Or this is an immoral idea.
Yeah. And to that point, why?
Yeah, instead of saying...
It's bad because... It's good because...
Yeah.
No, it's socialism.
Yeah, instead of...
You already know.
Instead of... Yeah.
It's evil.
Instead of saying, it's like, 100 million people were killed. That's fucking horrible.
Yeah.
They go to, socialism is evil.
But look, it killed people. See?
Mao killed 100 million people.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, man. You're fucking leeching off our conscience. That's what it seems like.
Fight.
Fighting!
Yeah, it's fighting out of the blue corner. Oh, man.
A whoopsie-doo fighter.
Just, no, I got you. Ready? This fight is 3 5-minute. Okay. 3 5-minute rounds. Introducing first. Fighting out of the blue corner. Occupy.
Paradigm.
Red corner. In the red corner. Fighting. He's a fuckboy. Mad.
Fuck.
What? I'm just kidding.
Alright, let's continue.
No, but it's because they feel guilty about their wealth. You are the perfect stereotype for somebody that I could get to grow government with. Russell, look at these poor people. Look at how well you live. Look at this podcast studio. Don't you feel bad as a white, straight male?
Why is government bad? I want to hear that answer.
Doesn't have to be.
Why is government bad?
That all this is going on. Oh, of course, yes. What should I do? Use your platform to tell people that this is wrong and that you become the voice that actually allows people to grow government. And what it does is it decreases opportunities for black Americans. I want opportunities, not handouts.
You're having an argument with me that's your normal argument with normal people. You're going to have to...
I'm actually just having fun.
Don't throw that smile in. Don't start using that. Let's have some rules in here, Candace. Right?
You got me all fired up.
Because I'm not, I'm not a liberal. I'm, if anything, an anarchist. All right? An anarcho-syndicalist. I agree with you. Yeah, decentralized government. But where I feel you and I are going to disagree is on the level of extending compassion, love.
You want to give out hugs? Well, what do you mean? How would you?
Well, no, hold on a minute. You're the guest on this podcast.
Yeah. How would you give out
compassion? There would be some hugs, yes. There would be some hugs. But but I also want to ask.
Just goes like, I gotta say, just goes.
All right. So Candace asks, "How are you going to give out compassion? Are you going to give out hugs or something like that?"
Yeah, it's like. And
this is where the structured thing is not that like.
Yeah.
If Russell said something to the effect of. Act out of compassion, react out of compassion, react out of love, act out of love. That would be a completely different scenario.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, like, well, what else are we supposed to do? Like, what is your replacement for that, Candace? Well, big government is bad. Socialism is bad.
What's wrong with government? I thought you were anti-war.
Government isn't war, is it?
No.
Does government have to implement war?
Nope.
There's your answer.
Look at that. I thought government was like a system.
Yeah.
Huh. Oh, look at that. A neutral system.
Right. Even the idea on paper, as far as what America has, on paper in a moral society would work.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're supposed to do the will of the people.
Yeah.
They are people themselves.
Look at that. And without the people, then what is it? What is the government without people?
Skynet?
Yep. Well,
something like Skynet?
It's nothing.
Yeah. Alright, let's continue.
You what is your solution? If we both agree that that sort of centrist left, and you can't call those people communists, you really can't. There's the difference between them is negligible. The difference between the Republicans and the Democrats is negligible in terms of like a holistic global philosophy to inculcate and spread real meaningful change, all right? But you as a conservative, a believer in conservatism, what is the solution?
We want limited government. We want free markets and a society where people can have...
We've had that. We've got that now.
No.
You maniac.
Well, first off, it is working in America.
Now, see how there's no moral argument. Those are just right-wing talking points. We want smaller government and a free market. Now, if you told me what those things implied, you don't even have to say those. That should be in every, like, if you say free market, right? That's where the individual can stand out and can grow or fall based on their own merit. Why didn't you just say that? Why didn't she just say that?
Gotta play for that team, man.
And you realize that plays out in a shitload of social scenarios to where your idea expands and you have a moral foundation. What? partial shutdown of government set to arrive at midnight.
That's something to look into. Like, what are you guys gonna do? This shut down.
I think it's all about some border walls.
Yeah.
Some shit I don't even care about.
Yeah. No, I care.
I care, but it's like, fuck you guys. Talking about fucking walls. There's people without food.
I know.
Fuck you. So yeah, what was the other one? Smaller government. It doesn't matter if it's a large or small government. It does not matter. What matters is the moral compass of said body and the people around it.
Which goes into answering this comment. Yeah. Name a war that wasn't funded by government.
Who cares?
Who gives a fuck, dude? Who cares? Like, you serious?
If there was no government and there was still immorality,
would it matter?
Yeah.
It's a group of people.
It would just be less organized.
It's ignorance and corruption.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it again. I said it like 20 times to this dude within the past. Like, I might just put a counter.
Yeah.
A group of people. It's a group of people that do it, who don't have a moral compass. It's not there. Because if it was,
or they have somewhat of a moral compass, and it gets skewed, or someone manipulates them, or whatever.
I meant one that's standing.
Or they have what I would call a pseudo-moral stance, which is they don't really know the moral answer, but they have a relative answer to someone else.
Meaning,
these guys eat babies, we don't. Thus, we're the moral high ground. Thus, we can do this to them.
No.
That's what I mean. That's a pseudo-moral stance. That's relativism.
Like sandcastles being built and the tide's coming in. Yeah. And as the water and the tide hits it, the sand will fucking fall. Those morals should be like those sandcastles, except when the water hits, no matter how big of a wave it is, that shit does not move. It doesn't fall whatsoever. It stays.
It stays and it's emboldened.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm stronger now, thanks.
Unbreakable, immovable object. That's what it should be.
Yeah.
And if you have that, then there you go. You speak as if you have your finger on the pulse of some source of absolute moral truth. Graveyards are full of people who felt that way.
Let me say again. On the pulse of the... Yeah, I do.
Same.
I'll say that straight up.
Same here.
Also, what do them dying have to do with anything to do with the moral compass?
Yeah. What? Careful, Matt. You can't. I don't think you can hang with us as far as this goes.
If the world decides that eating babies is good, and I say no, you're not going to eat my baby.
Yeah.
It's like, and they kill me. It's like, I guess he wasn't moral.
Well, see how far that got you. It's like, you know what?
If you're, like I said before, adults sit at that dinner table.
Yeah.
Not the kiddies. Mm-hmm. The kiddies will bicker about bullshit.
Yeah.
The adults are like, I stand by this no matter what. Nothing's moving me. Straight up. It's almost a moral obligation once you observe a certain thing.
Sounds like fear, Matt.
How was that, or you got more? That's it.
Just wanted to say,
your things pop up before mine does, so I'm like,
I know,
I'm looking for yours.
My superior genetics. Sounds like fear. Graveyards are full of people who felt that way. What about that? It's like, is that fear? Smells like fear, Matt. All right.
Nothing wrong with fear, but
no, nothing wrong with it. It's just when it's applied in a certain direction.
Right? You have a whole self. You can't just let fear be the driver.
That's what I mean.
You bring your whole self.
Is that what's pushing you for your decisions? Fear. We gotta survive. Because if we don't, then I don't know what happens at the end.
Yeah.
It's like,
I might explain my thinking on morality someday, but until then, you can watch my IQ question number 1. I might have a symbolic answer for you.
We'll answer this question at the end of this segment.
Yeah. Continue.
This is why this is the lowest rate ever for black unemployment is right now under Donald Trump, who is allegedly the most racist president if you read The Guardian, right? Like, he's so racist. Well, he sucks at racism because black Americans are doing so much better. There's been a 400% increase in black-owned businesses because there's opportunities. He's making sure that there are actually opportunities.
Do you believe...
Real quick, jobs say nothing about happiness or anything like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
They say more about survival than actual happiness.
Yeah.
Now, I would think survival for most people is a part of happiness, but it's not the end of you survive in order to do something happy.
It's the whole
It's the point of surviving for a lot of people, I would say.
It's a bundle, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I want to experience this because it's my bliss, and to do that, I would want to survive.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
How easy that was.
In these sort of figures.
Do I believe in them?
Yeah, those sort of figures. When people, when governments go, and we found out that the unemployment's dropped, they've just stopped welfare for a load of people. When they go 400% growth in black businesses, there'll be some state-sponsored initiative where you can start your own business. There'll be some bullshit thing. No. You know that. You can't trust them. No. If you don't, do you know what? Like, if you don't believe in the Democrat Party, how can you believe in the Republican Party when the difference is negligible?
When have anybody ever heard me say vote Republican?
Well, you just spout out their talking points. Maybe you mean something different by it, but you're definitely using very similar language. Right.
I don't know.
Let's go. I passed all my classes. Which class do you say? The multi-layered schools of life. There, you got it. We're bleeding viewers.
All right.
Continue?
Yeah.
Doesn't
you
happen.
don't care.
It doesn't happen. I'm independent.
I'm an anarchist.
Yeah, I mean, I'm independent. Okay, so I vote based on the candidate, and the only candidate that I believe in is Donald Trump. And let me tell you, he's neither Republican or Democrat, which was so interesting to watch you on The View. Let me tell you why.
Me or Russ?
I've watched you before. I used to watch your YouTube channels before I even was conservative. I used to watch all of your thoughts, and I was like, yeah, this guy's really smart. He's really got it. You understand the problem with the establishment. But what you didn't realize was that Trump was anti-establishment. Because, and you know why? You get fooled by wealth. You think wealth automatically makes you establishment. It doesn't. Obviously, he's not establishment, or he wouldn't have the entire mainstream media and two parties that were opposing him.
Goldman Sachs? I mean, I'll say he's more establishment than he's not. She's pointing out little things.
Yeah.
Say, oh, the news doesn't like him. Like, okay. So.
It's like this. Like, he's a good guy. He donated $1 million to an orphanage. Like, yeah, but he's also... this hypothetical person, by the way. Yeah, but he also was backing the war here, backing wars here and here and here and here and here. Lied about this over here and over here, and, connecting to these wars and etc. Made the claim these are morally adept decisions these people are making, and he's also So you gonna point out the little things? Yeah.
I would say he's the most outside establishment president we've ever had.
Straight to my knowledge.
As far as I know, yeah, he's the most outside the establishment guy ever. But yeah. I got nothing to add to that.
I'm sensing tune playing.
You missed the one.
I see it.
All right.
And where does this absolute moral truth exist independent of the human mind?
It doesn't exist independent of the human mind.
You have to
watch our Eric Fromm video. You have to become the thing itself. You are that thing.
Yeah. If there's no you, then there's nothing.
You're creating something that's already there. As far as egotistically, your mental self, you're creating it based on something that's already you.
Yeah. If there is no individual, then what is there? Then what's happening?
I don't know.
Exactly. Why do white liberals like Brand get a kick out of reminding blacks how shitty their lives are? Fuck, Matt.
I think it's sympathy.
Yeah.
It's empathy. I don't have the answer, but I can clearly see you're suffering.
Yeah.
Thus I care.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I just think he doesn't have a logical... Well, he has a somewhat logical, but he doesn't have
structured filter.
He doesn't have a logical representative of his feelings.
Mm-hmm.
He just doesn't have that going on there.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm still in high school, so not really a big deal. It is a big deal.
Yes, it is a big deal.
Yeah, because you did it.
Now you get to go slap college professors around with knowledge.
If it doesn't exist independent from the human mind, then it is relative. Ha!
Nah.
It's like my favorite color.
All I have to do is ask, who are you? And you tell me if that's relative.
Your favorite color, Jordan. Your favorite color? That's relative.
I'm Jordan because that's James.
Yeah, of course.
That's the ego's function, not the whole self's function. The ego is supposed to separate things and create conflicts in order to, dig into them and understand them.
We'll see how far the five senses get you, Matt. We'll see how far that. It's relative.
Nah, that does not make it relative at all. Maybe in the ego, it's relative.
I can measure it.
But if you did the full individual work, it comes out not being relative. It comes out as just using different words, different languages, and different styles. I don't talk about it, I just act. Or I want to get on a stand and tell everybody about it. Right? There's two different expressions of the same thing. Like happiness, right? You don't say happiness is over here and I'm over here, right? You are the happiness. How do you express it? I'd go fucking grab a beer and shout out. Or I go and read a book or whatever, however you express your happiness.
Who are you? The question is fallacious.
No, it's not. It's a question that I can't truly ask you, to be honest. I can ask you in words, but the fuck? That's something you ask yourself.
The question... What does it say?
Presupposes being.
My bad, yeah. Alright. Before you answer that. Answer it.
Is it, who are you? The question presupposes being? I gotta think about this one. No, the question's no. For me, asking it does not presuppose. For you as an individual, that is in my opinion, that is the purpose. Who am I is the purpose that the self is asking the ego. Who am I, or who are you? So the being is the presupposer in this scenario.
In words and senses and touch and measure and height and weight and all, you did it.
All right, let's continue.
He was the antithesis of all of that. And he came and he slammed all of it and he won. So I'm a Trump supporter. And people call that Trumplicans, like, a portion of the Republican Party, because he had to run on either one ticket or the other. He ran as a Republican. Trump is by no means. He calls it the swamp for a reason. And
but do you think that truly...
I don't know if I agree with that.
I wouldn't agree with it either.
I think he definitely leans Republican. Well, he's a mixed bag for sure, but,
At the end of the day, though, let's look at what he's been doing that the two presidents behind him have been doing as well.
Yeah.
Wars. Look at that.
Yeah. If I had a pure model of Republican, that actually follows their ideas strictly, it'd be like a Ron Paul type. Mm-hmm. These other guys are a lot more corporate. In fact, they're very corporate. Just like the Democrats, very corporate.
Which is why I imagine it's just an imaginary team they're playing behind at the end of the day. What they're going to try to do is going to, strictly for business.
Yeah, benefit themselves.
Yeah, which is why it's I don't really get wrapped up in the, are you left or are you right? Because at the end of the day, these fuckers, right?
Yeah.
They might not have, people supporting them might not have a true understanding of what's going on here. And then when their guy or person gets elected, it's watch them do similar shit to the guy before them and before that.
Yeah. It's Obama was there to fight Wall Street, and then you see Goldman Sachs, Wall Street, all in his cabinet. Yeah. Trump gets elected. All you see is Goldman Sachs, Wall Street.
Yeah, I remember when my brother was that guy's from Goldman Sachs. What the fuck?
Or Exxon Mobil or some shit like that. Steve Mnuchin, whatever the fuck his name is. Whatever. Continue.
Creeper.
that the establishment is opposed to Trump. I know, like that media noise and static and shash. I agree with you. I read the stuff about him, but he is the president of the United States. And what do you really think he will do for vulnerable, ordinary people? And do you not think that a commercial and capitalist society does create huge hierarchies and pyramids that lead most people to be, not most people, a significant percentage of the population to not have access to sufficient resources and create systems that are unfair?
No,
you don't think
it's
that.
not. If you're saying to me that because some person is less driven than me, I was able to accomplish more and I was rewarded for it, that's unfair. No, that's not unfair. As long as we are provided the same opportunities, which in America our system is, if you work hard and you're willing to work hard, you will be rewarded.
Now, as far as someone not being allowed to have the same drive as her, or I would agree with her on that. As far as equal opportunity, yes in the big picture, but no in the small social standard of things. In the big picture, yes, because are we really here to just make money and get the wife, get the kid?
Get the car, you get the girl, you get the house.
Get the house, get the car. So, yeah. But if you're a genius, let's say, you're a genius philosopher, right? But you truly follow those principles to where finances is lower on your scale of things. You're not going to thrive in this world, or at least in this American society, right? You can even write a brilliant paper, but no one reads it. It's like, you kind of fucked it. Or whatever other skill or something.
Well, yeah, there's imposing forces,
Yeah.
And the external forces, which is why it's like, see how they need to do the work too. Like, what is a fair fucking chance,
Yeah.
Equal opportunity. What is that? Equal amount of food? Is that what you mean? That's not true.
And yeah,
equal amount of what,
If you look at these guys, they're like, look at how they started with the funding and all that.
Yeah,
it's like,
who's that?
You could throw Candace Owens in there. You could throw Ben Shapiro in there.
Yeah,
like they had to have a certain ideology first.
Was adopting it.
Let's say Shapiro had a different ideology.
Yeah, I don't think he wouldn't get as far as.
I don't think he'd be propped up and working for Breitbart and
like
all
that.
that shit.
Not like that.
Nah.
He's like a poster boy.
So it's definitely restrictions in society.
I'm not saying you won't get far, but as long as there's external forces,
Yeah, if there's some guys propping up one set of ideas but not another, that could easily seem like a disadvantage.
That's what I mean by that.
Yeah.
As well as like someone who has an immoral intentions.
Yeah.
Which is why she's like, that whole concept just went, it's equal opportunity, you see. If they don't have the same drive as me, then boo-hoo. It's like, that's cold.
Yeah.
That's fucking cold.
That doesn't even consider things like condition. That's why you have to do the work. You have to consider things like conditioning.
Yeah.
And it's like, listen, you were conditioned to be in this state. Let's try to break that conditioning or whatever. Let's continue.
Agree with that system because some people do.
And by the way, capitalism is the only proven economic model that lifts people out of poverty. Socialism doesn't. It's killed 100 million people in the last 100 years.
She made that up. It's not one system or the other. It's just, well, in this world, what we do is we box things in and make them relative. Say, oh, there's only 10 people starving instead of 11 this time.
Mm-hmm.
So capitalism works or socialism works. It's like if you did the actual moral work, then it's like, okay, we can't allow anyone to starve, not one person.
Yeah.
We can't allow that, period, unless they freely choose that. There's some Buddha guy. I want to understand suffering,
yeah.
So I don't eat.
The other thing is this, though, as well as like, well, you won't be able to feed everybody. Like the point is, like, what is the best possible scenario and strive for that.
Yeah, and you probably could feed everybody. Let's be honest.
Yeah, you could. No, I'm not saying like, what if you can't? Like, what if you miss someone?
Yeah.
Like, again, the point is to strive for that best possible scenario.
So I'm just saying human nature, and
that's called this.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, have some fight. Do something.
It's
Aliquina.
It's tapping out.
Aliquina like tapped out, and fucking Kevin Lee had that shit on him. He's like, you could see spit. He's like, fuck, got out of it.
Yeah.
I'm like, attaboy, man. That's right.
Yeah. You can't tap out. You can't.
You should save the arm bar. It's like, you let that shit break, man. That was fucking badass. That's my text.
It's intellectually lazy. It's intellectually dishonest.
Yeah, that's my text.
To just start eliminating possibilities because this.
Yeah, I text her. I was like, yeah. So.
All right, let's continue. Unless you've done the work and figured out that can't possibly be the thing. Yeah. All right.
Start talking about capitalism like that after they bailed out capitalism like just 10 years ago. Capitalism had the biggest lump of communism in history. Like, it just was completely state-sponsored. The whole thing's artificially inflated. Okay, that system, surviving by the merits that it espouses, survival of the fittest, would be long dead.
If we're talking
long dead. It died in 2008.
If we're talking about corruption and bail, I don't think they should have been bailed out. So
do I.
Yeah, so I agree with you. Yeah.
What these two might not have an understanding of as far as a system being neutral. It's the people within the system operating the system. And then have their immoral decisions taking place, and becomes corrupt, and it's no longer the system that it was in the first place. It's something else now. It's not capitalism. It's not socialism anymore. It's something else.
Yeah,
that's what these two probably don't get.
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's capitalism. Like, no, not anymore.
Here's the thing: Candace Owens will understand, but only from one perspective. Like, if you're knocking down capitalism, she'll say, "Well, that's monopolies. That's
not capitalism.
That's crony capitalism. That's."
But it isn't.
I don't agree with that.
But it isn't.
And if someone said socialism should be all on board, like, yeah, it is bad.
No, it isn't.
So it's like a dishonest argument to me.
My point is, all right, this over here is capitalism, right? And if we have the moral understanding of what is right versus what is wrong, we can clearly see how this is neutral. This system over here, socialism, is also neutral. Right? Communism is also neutral.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when people do shit and make laws and do add-ons and all these things that can be considered immoral, I'd say people with a basic moral understanding of what is right versus what is wrong versus people that know, it's easy to see. I don't like that. Like, see how this can possibly
or
leave someone out in the water,
Or writing a rule that on paper seems righteous.
Yeah.
But really, I already know how to beat this rule.
Yeah, exactly.
But we'll have it here as a facade so that...
Yeah,
there's nothing corrupt happening here because on the books it say I can't do that. And I don't do that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they just change
behind the curtain. Behind the curtain, they're, double dipping. That's the point.
Yeah, pause. Exactly.
Yeah, it is a pause. Yeah. Right.
Continuing. I'm trying to get to this point. There's a certain argument that I want to get to.
Yeah.
And when we get there, we'll be like, that's it.
I 100% agree with you. That's exactly right, because that's not true capitalism. That wasn't true capitalism.
So what should have happened there?
They should have let them go under.
I believe the markets
always fix themselves.
So everybody in all of the people that paid for that bailout out of their taxes, that had their houses reclaimed, that had their houses foreclosed, they're right to be angry.
You won't get an argument from me.
Do you think that Donald Trump's going to address that? Do you
No,
think Donald Trump's going to say, right, we're going to Goldman Sachs, we're shutting down banks, we're giving these people their houses back?
Unfortunately, he wasn't the president of the United States.
Yeah, but he is now. And do you think...
He's not going to. He didn't run on that.
So what?
I 100% agree with Russell Brand there. Mm-hmm. Not that he should go to Goldman Sachs like, okay, you're going to jail and you're going to jail. Mm-hmm. But address it.
Yeah.
Truly address it.
Like, what are you going to do?
Like, listen, guys, you're getting your houses back. Well, it's probably too late now, but...
It ain't too late.
At the same time, it's like, this was fraudulent.
Yeah.
And we're going to look after you now.
Yeah.
Until... things can get back to normal.
Is it possible that you could help those people with the houses?
100%.
Oh, there you go. What about Katrina? What about that? Hold on. What about Katrina?
Yeah.
With that shit, everything that happened there, and the government allegedly, raising funds for aid, and then nothing happened.
Also waiting.
About that.
waiting a long period of time to get there and help.
Well, that too. So, as far as he wasn't there. He wasn't there at the presidency at that time. It's like, so what?
Yeah.
So what?
Just acknowledging certain things is very, 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 very important.
Sure, it's like acknowledging snipers hitting Palestinians. Acknowledge that.
Let's say a president had a bill he wanted to get through that he wrote up, and he's like, I really want this to happen. Let's say it's whatever, free healthcare or something.
Yeah.
I really want free healthcare for everyone. That's the goal. That's the plan. That's what I want. But this person, these guys will not vote this in because this guy works here, or this guy gets money from here, this guy gets money from here, this guy, like, that's my suspicion.
Yeah.
Like, all I have to do is point that out,
yeah,
and you will have majority of the country like, fuck it.
Problem is, when, as far as my theory is, you won't say that shit because if you do, then you'll go down too. So
that's a strong possibility too.
So yeah, that's where the cognitive dissonance comes into play with this person.
It's like, wait, you took money from here too.
Yeah.
Is this a scheme? What's going on?
Exactly. Yeah.
They'd have to explain that.
What he is going to do is make sure...
Because his philosophy is basically in alignment with
supporting... Crony-capitalism is what we're talking about, and that's something that I'm fully against, So, but I'm talking about just as an economic model. Capitalism is the only proven model that lifts people out of poverty, which is why...
I agree with that.
Right.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, people help people out of poverty.
Yeah, not capitalism. Capitalism is neutral. That thing's not going to come to you at night. Listen, you're lonely. Get some baby oil, starts rubbing your chest. I can help you. You're cold at night, aren't you? Yes.
Yeah.
Got these magic fingers. Call me capitalism. It's like, no. No.
Yeah.
It's like fucking stupid. It raises people. No, it fucking doesn't. People do it.
Yeah.
It's stupid, man.
It's someone with moral fortitude stepping outside of the idea of being stuck in a system at all, in any system, and just, okay, we need to fix this.
But that we're talking about when the banks all collude, that's terrible.
Out of capitalism. It's terrible. Capitalism doesn't do that.
Yes, it does. That's why. Why do you think America is America? What made America America?
What are you talking about when you say America? Do you think there is one thing called America underneath a flag? Like we're like yippee-yi-yay, this is America.
Yes,
there's the America of poor people. There's the America of rich people. There's all sorts of America. There's all sorts of experience of America.
In America, it is proven that if you make good choices, if you stay out of trouble, if you don't have children out of wedlock, and you have a job, you will...
All right, there's moral codes.
Yeah, there is, that's it. And you'll be successful, that's it. That's all you have to do.
It's bullshit.
Yeah.
Who the fuck taught you that? Who taught you that?
Yeah.
Who taught you that? Stay out of trouble. What does that mean? Marriage out of wedlock? Have a kid out of wedlock?
As far as saying...
Fuck that. What'd you get from statistics?
I've heard of people where packages were just left at their doorway.
Yeah.
Like someone's like, I get rid of this, just placing it on their doorway.
Yeah.
Cops show up, like, this is yours, isn't it? They go to jail.
Yeah.
Now, you didn't do anything wrong, but
yeah,
you're going to jail now.
Yeah.
What else did she say? What else did she say?
Marriage out of wedlock.
Marriage
no, my kid.
Having a kid out of wedlock.
Yeah.
Once again, you're basing that around economics, I believe.
Economic statistics.
Which is her, I don't know, her moral code is economics somehow.
Yeah.
Like if you have a kid and whatever, you have the parents not really together, financially it's more difficult or whatever, or just, she might even be talking about behavior when it comes to, their argument of if the dad's not there, the kid's fucked.
Yeah.
Most likely fucked. It's like,
Stupid.
Conditioning on top of conditioning.
Yeah.
If you have a morally solid mother and no dad around, the kid will be fucking fine. The kid will be fine.
Well, choice.
Yeah, choice, but...
Yeah, that's right.
He will be...
No.
The kid will be fine in the sense of a healthy environment.
Yeah. No.
To where they can create themselves.
It's better.
What was the other thing? There's two other things, right?
I don't remember.
I figured.
It is proven that if you make good choices, if you stay out of trouble, if you don't have children out of wedlock, and you have a job, you will...
Stay out of trouble and have a job. I forgot about that. Yeah. Go get a job. Gotta work. Like,
nah, her first thing she said was make good choices. It's like, what?
Well, I already said that.
Yeah.
It's like, what does that mean? Like, basically staying out of trouble. It's like, huh?
Yeah.
Like, what's the right thing to do then? Huh? Okay, like I said, like, who's feeding you this, you know?
And it's also the have a job thing. It's like, well, who's the dictator of what's valuable and what's not valuable?
Like, why should I have a job?
Yeah.
Why? Why should I? You know? I thought my job is to pursue whatever the fuck I want. Whether it's, well, you see, you know, I want to sit outside all day and paint. Or I want to sit outside all day and just look at the sky.
Yeah.
You can't do that. Why the fuck not?
It's like, dude, that person could come up with something that no one else was thinking of, or or speak a language that, you know, other people who speak that same language, they never had like a guy to look up to or whatever. You know, it's like shit. That guy has tattoos like me.
Yeah.
He's talking about this shit.
Yeah.
Like,
It's just
odd to me. It's dumb conditioning, but still.
It's odd to me. It's like if I have a house or like a building or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you know, you gotta people have to work. You know, who's gonna clean that shit, huh? I'll do it. If I care enough, it'll be cleaned.
Yeah.
But if someone else is like, hey man, I want to make some extra money, I'll do it. All right, fine, dude. Come on.
Also, with the have a job thing, let's take YouTube for example, right? Now, me and James.
What?
Me and James. Yeah, me and James could strictly make jackass videos, jackass style things where we only do pranks and hit each other with 2x4s and shit like that, as entertainment. It's like, now, I ask, it's like, well, it's market driven, that makes that the most valuable thing in the market.
Yeah.
It's like, but does it make it like truly valuable? Like, critics saying whatever, Wonder Woman or Black Panther is the best movie ever according to their scores.
Yeah.
And that movie makes a shitload of money. Does that make them great movies?
Fuck no, it does not.
Do they truly give value to the society, other than small narcissistic?
Well, you see how the money.
I'm a woman.
The money.
I'm black.
The money is pumped back into the system. So yes.
Create my jobs. More minimum wage, ticket taker jobs. They're important, don't you know? If he wants my money, he should get another job. What?
You sure?
Alright, let's continue with this.
Yeah.
There's like moral code.
Yeah, there is. That's it. And you'll be successful. That's it. That's all you have to do. But in the interim, you're in a part of a school system that sells you 1,000.
That's completely wrong. It's ignoring life.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. You're just ignoring life.
Cognitive dissonance at its finest.
Look at me. I made it. Well, not everyone thinks the way you think to where you're going to have big-time supporters and shit like that.
Yeah, some people consider you a fucking sellout to yourself. And the only way to get to the point where you're at right now as far as that specific position is to do that, which they won't. And you define that as successful?
I can take a white lady with the same exact ideas and she can't get where you're at, right? Like, you saying this as a black woman is gonna, it's like, see, there's one of the black people agree with us, us Trump guys or us whatever guys, us Republican guys. So that makes her valuable in that area.
Yeah, I can't.
Something she had no creation things over.
It's like, yeah, you gotta...
Socially, that is.
Yeah, socially.
In ways that you're being victimized, and people, as opposed to going to work, are wearing pussy hats and protesting a fair and free election.
I do agree there's aspects of the education system that are hugely disempowering.
It's propaganda.
Fair enough. Like, disempowering to ordinary people. I think we do disagree on some of the solutions. Now, see, imagine this, like you when you were like 14, you've got the anorexia and you can't get therapeutic help because you're too bloody clever. What do we do in the instance of a young woman or a girl that's suffering from anorexia and doesn't have your drive? What happens in this situation? This is a person, wouldn't you agree, that requires help, compassion, love, support, and who do you propose should provide that?
Hopefully her parents.
What if her parents...
What do you think, the government's going to just like create programs for anorexics to go to places? I mean...
You go.
If an anorexic seeks help, seeks therapeutical help, then they have to go.
Why would
to a
that be so
therapist.
bad if the government did create?
That's to me, it's ridiculous.
Why,
it's so ridiculous. The idea of just
hold on a minute. It just spent trillions on bailing out banks. Why can't we?
He's like, why? Why?
Yeah. So she says her answer to that is family, not government. Mm-hmm. But she's disconnecting that government is actually made of people.
Yeah.
So why would people not care about other people?
Exactly.
So that on its face sounds fucking stupid.
Right? So, again, I'll say it again.
That sounds so fucking dumb.
I know how to say this name.
Zucchina?
Candace is so fucking stupid.
I don't think she's dumb. I just think she's dumb, but...
Our definition of dumb.
Yeah. I say ignorant, and once again uses Republican talking points.
Yeah. Look, you need family.
And scrambles around those talking
points. Ready?
Ad-libs around them.
The family, right? Let's see. Group of people that don't know who they are, and they happen to do shit that does self-harm and harm to other people as well. Oh, yeah, but they'll take care of you.
And,
so let's say the mother's an alcoholic, and then the father, does physical abuse on people. Yeah, you'll be fine. Absolutely.
And you can look at simple, teenagers, the stereotypical teenager, right? If they have a problem, their family would probably be the last ones they want to go to.
Fuck yeah.
You guys are going to say, I love you no matter what.
Yeah.
I want to hear, a real answer. That's that move to adulthood where you want to hear real shit.
Yeah.
You don't want to be coddled. You want to hear, a real answer. That's when people go outside of their family.
Too bad they don't see how it is.
Yeah.
It is real.
A lot of kids are raised by TV and friends and shit. Right? Because
TV and friends.
It's I understand you're not on default love me mode. Mm-hmm. Right? You're going to be somewhat real with me. Right? We had to earn each other's compassion and love and whatever. Right? It was earned. Rather than, you came out of my vagina. I love you very much. Right? A person can read those different signals.
No, it's there.
Am I getting that wrong?
A little bit. Earn it.
How so?
It's already there.
Yeah. But egotistically, you're earning it.
Back down. I get what you're saying.
Fuck you, man. Alright.
That's right. Become me.
Yes. Continue.
You booing me? Well, fuck you.
What was that referencing?
Ally Quinn.
You
booing me? Well, fuck you. I'm blessed.
Alright, continuing.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. We're not bailing out anorexics. It's that
bailed out the banks.
The government is not God. They are not the solution to all your problems. Families, the community, your friends, things of that nature. People forgot about that whole thing.
All right, in a healthy society, even then, not really, because you have to do the work too. You have to do it too. I don't mean gotta build the house and gotta get stronger so I can build the house. I mean the house internally. You got to build that. And you got to make sure the structure is set to the point where if anything blows, like a giant gust of wind or tidal wave hits the house or the temple, it doesn't fall. It doesn't even move an inch.
Also, the government's supposed to represent the community.
They're supposed to,
on paper.
Yeah,
right? Aren't they supposed to be
They're supposed to be the moral representation of the people, the champions of the people.
I was just going with straight up what's on paper now. They're supposed to represent the community's interests, which means they are a part of that community.
This is what it should be.
Right? I can't live in Texas but be the senator of New York.
In the grander scheme of things, it's a society. You're a part of the community, which is a part of this society over here. That's this community, this city, this state.
And then it's supposed to be one giant community like the U.S.
Yeah.
And then it turns into a global community as well.
Because, again, I hit one domino, it's going to hit the other.
Exactly.
It'll keep going.
One injustice anywhere is going to fuck things up all over, or can fuck things up all over.
Yeah.
Actually, I would say it will, just it won't be as noticeable.
Yeah.
But it will be some sort of shockwave throughout the rest of the world. So it's imminent for the fucking whole of society to care about an individual's issues.
The right has convinced that the only function of government is to run the military.
Run the military, lower taxes, as far as Republicans go. Lower taxes, free market, and bomb away.
This is a bunch of ignorant people with a lack of individuality. That's what I would say.
What's funny is they all play off each other.
Yeah, I know.
Right? You can't have more bombs without more taxes.
Yeah.
And they're like,
listen.
He said he was going to lower taxes, but he didn't. At least he bombed Iraq, though. It's like, wait a minute.
Yay! All right.
Like, how did he fund that?
Yeah, so. Hey, listen. What'd you have to eat for the past 3 days? A bagel. Yeah. And how much that jet costs? 100 million bagels, my friend.
No.
It's like, what?
Continuing.
Like, yes.
That happens, right? Where like, where's the girl gonna go? Does she have parents? Is there anyone you can go to before you start worshiping the government to fix it? What am I gonna do? I don't have any money in my account. Is there a government program that will fix it? What am I gonna do? I have anorexia. Is there a government? This is what's wrong with the world. People don't remember life before government was big.
You have no idea what's wrong with the world. Holy fuck. Holy shit.
Yeah. And
Holy, I don't
you can hear the talking points because he runs back to it.
They're pouring out every time where it's like push comes to shove. It's like Republican talking points. I'm like, yeah, I heard you say that before. Now what?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
She thinks when she, I think she thinks when she says like, we want smaller government, it's some like outside idea we've never heard before. It's like, no, these are Republican talking points. What do you think the less taxes thing is about?
Yeah.
What do you think that's about? Fuck.
Like, why do you sound the same like these guys over here? What's going on?
Yeah.
I'm not. I never said Republican. What are you? What are you doing? You know.
Let's actually look at her fucking points.
Yeah.
Pro free market, no matter what. Pro capitalism, no matter what.
All right.
Pro less government, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Anti climate change. These are all so far Republican talking points.
Welfare state.
Yeah. So actually, some Republicans do buy into climate change, but they say it's some scheme by the Democrats, some sort of tax scheme to get more money for the government.
Mm.
If I had to guess on abortion, she's against abortion. I bet if someone asked, like, what do you...
The welfare state.
Your theology, what is it? It's Christianity. It's just all those same fucking things along completely, like... Yeah, I mean, it could be some sort of, anomaly that you just happen to, as an individual, you happen to pick all these right-wing Republican talking points. It could be. It could be an anomaly or a coincidence or whatever, but it doesn't seem like it. All right.
What I'm astonished by is your belief that the government is this sort of friendly, benevolent, fairy
godmother.
You're
the one that wants them
no,
to
I
grow
don't
it.
believe in that.
You're the one that thinks
I
there should
believe
be
that it's a
programs for
draconian
anorexics.
machine,
And
empowering
yet you want to
people,
grow it.
conditioning people.
And yet you want to grow it. You think there should be an
When have I
anorexia
said-
department,
I
and then
do.
they'll walk around with their binders, and they'll do inspections
Kiss
on the
me.
anorexics. Seriously, you do. You're
Listen,
not ideologically
no, I don't
consistent.
agree with that. I don't. That's not what I think. I don't.
Can we abolish the anorexic programs for government we just created?
No,
Strike it
that's-
from the list.
We're taking.
Strike it from the list.
Your taxes are going up considerably for my cuddly, cozy anorexia program. Then we need a further 10% for little pudding and pie drug addicts that are so down in the dumps that all they can do is take heroin all day long.
Community. This used to be a thing. Communities used to get
Look,
together
I agree,
in cities
but
and
do you
towns.
not think this individualistic culture is in itself destroying the principles at a spiritual, human level of community? Do you not think when people see this economic inequality, this disparity, I'm not talking about hating your little rich friend Lola Bell or whoever it was, you went round to see her nanny and were infuriated by it, but thought, oh, well, maybe one day I'll have my own nanny. Danny, do you not think that economic inequality creates in a human being a sense of injustice, of unfairness? Because people, do you know what, Candace? 90% of people that are rich, do you know why they're rich? They was born rich.
Okay, I tell you.
All right, so there's several things there. He's talking about hyper individuality. I would want that. That's a good thing.
Again, different definitions.
That's the thing. I think he's using, in my opinion, the wrong words there.
Yeah.
Like individuality should be.
It's a lack of an
top
individual.
of the fucking
It's a lack of an individual.
Yeah. There is no rights for a group. There's rights for individuals.
Pseudo-individual rights. Well, I believe in low taxes, and I'm a Christian. And oh, you're one of these guys. Welcome.
Yeah.
Join the HUD.
In fact, individuals should be recognized more often. Like she's doing the opposite of that when she says, "You want big government? Well, that's a big government of fucking people."
Yeah.
Right. And then when you add in the second part of Russell Brand's point of, isn't there just some innate compassion or guilt or whatever or remorse or empathy, right? That should be elevated as well. So if you have a government, no matter what the size of it, with elevated empathy, or actually you need more than just a government, the society itself with elevated empathy, and you will see the positive results.
Yep.
But if you only use this idea in the context of what we have now, then you can argue it and say that we're fucked. Then you can say we're fucked because these guys aren't. Empathy isn't at the top of their fucking list. It's not. It seems like greed is. Immorality seems like at the top of their totem pole. So if you use the context of the world we have now,
it looks pretty shitty.
Both of their arguments are going to fall on their faces, and it does.
At least one looks like it's one guy, or at least one person from here looks like they're searching.
Yeah, at least I think Russell Brand already has the intention. He already has the care.
Yeah, that's what I look for.
How long it takes him to figure it out schematically, to put it into words,
yeah,
that's up to him. But he already has the most important part.
Sure. Oh, you give a fuck. Great.
Yeah.
Great.
That's a good start.
You, my dear, I have no clue.
Yeah. That's not a way you want to look at someone.
No.
I have no idea if you actually
I don't want to look at you
not.
as like a threat to other people.
If I take all your money away, are you still saying these things?
Yeah.
Take your money and your fame. Make you a different person. Are you still saying these things?
Shave your head. Are you going to be different?
Are you going to say what's important to you and you only?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's continue. Your ego, that is.
Something I think that economic disparity creates that feeling, but a fundamental understanding in economics can help you.
Do you know that the most people that are rich are born rich? It's not like there's a tiny minority of people that are like you that come from a poor background and manage to overcome it. And this is what's a problem I've noticed with a lot of great people is they sort of believe that their greatness is something that can be replicated, and I don't think it can.
I see. So I believe in the individual. You don't. That's our fundamental differences.
That was strictly individuality. That was strictly individuality. What he said.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna
no
say.
one could
I was gonna say
what you did.
I could just hear all the shit she says without him like retorting. Just shit she says. Like you have no clue what an individual is.
Yeah.
No clue.
He basically defined it right in front of her.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. If you're a unique individual, as individuals we are unique. As far as expression and all that. So no, not everyone's gonna do the same exact thing. Like it's just there's a formula to this. You just do this and then this and then this and then this and then all of a sudden you're just like me. It's like no, it doesn't work that way. Some people are genius fucking drummers. Some are genius fucking plumbers. Yes, I rhymed right there. Right? There is. And it has to be that way in order to, I don't know, for harmony to work out. Let's put it that way.
You ignorant fuck. Keep talking. All right, go ahead. I want to end this.
Primary goal of the individual should be to serve the community.
I do not believe that the primary goal.
What do you think the primary goal of the
individual should be? I think that once an individual feels that they have served, so you're discounting the human spirit.
I'm not discounting it. I'm saying that's all there is.
Let me ask you. No, there's not. in a humanity. Think of animals in the wild. You don't have to go to humanity. We can just think about animals in the wild. What is our human instinct, okay? Are you going to make sure that everyone on this block is fed before you feed yourself? Do you go around and say, hey, have you had breakfast this morning?
Listen.
Hey, have you had breakfast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck. Like, what the hell? Yes. Yes.
Put down the candy and let the little boy go.
Put down the candy, little boy, go.
Yeah, that type of discussion is not meant for the immature.
Yeah, like, for her, I'm like, listen, I'll take care of it. You do what you gotta do. All
yeah.
Right? Hang back. I'll take care of it.
Yeah. So.
Here comes her morals. Here comes. This to me is extremely exposing. Go ahead. It really is.
This morning? Hey, are you going to make sure you're eating? And if you have an excess, of course you're going to do the human condition, and our incentives are going to be to want to help people.
Are you mental? Excess. The richest 15 people on the planet have got as much accumulative wealth as the poorest 5 billion.
But
that's an excess.
No. Okay. Excuse me. First and foremost, you're talking about literally 0.00001% of the world is what.
But. She's just ignoring the amount of money that they have.
Yeah.
You know how much money the Saudis have?
Yeah.
The royal family?
No one does, because it's probably some obscene amount.
Yeah, some obscene, obscure amount of money. It's just constantly, as I'm speaking, climbing. Just constantly. Even the families here. Absurdly rich. Like, no, Tom Cruise. No. It could be them. It could be a bunch of shit. Who fucking knows? All I'm saying is she has no clue. No clue.
Yeah, she skipped over answering that question.
Yeah.
You can tell she does.
You're just talking about 0.0. I don't give a fuck. Look at the numbers.
It's like, that's clear. Like,
that's the only time I'll ever say it. Look at the numbers. Go ahead, look. That shit's insane.
And you don't even have to say the 0.0001%. Yeah. Like you said, like Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Right? A-Rod. Those guys aren't in that 0.0001%. I don't think they are.
A-Rod,
I don't think he is.
I don't know.
But even
that's what I'm saying. All I'm saying is A-Rod got what, 2 contracts that are over $250 million. It's $500 million, and everything else with it. Now sit down. I got this. And then you know what I mean.
But those guys are rich, right? They're filthy rich.
Oh yeah.
Do they need 5 houses? Is that not excess? That sounds like excess to me.
Yeah.
Do you really need?
You mean a town? No, they don't need a town.
Yeah. Do you need a house for every season of the year? Do I need a winter house and a summer house and a spring house and a fall? I'm like, no. Yeah. Nah, man.
Like, you want that? You rent it right here. We have that.
Yeah.
If you guys want to hang out here, go ahead.
Yeah.
But just so you can show up like one day of the year? Nah, bitch.
Floyd Mayweather with like 20 cars.
Yeah, I know.
They're all like $100,000 each.
And that's okay if you really like cars.
Well, if you really like cars and lived in a healthy fucking world. Sure.
Yeah.
But Floyd knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Like you said, he was poor, right?
Yeah, you're in Michigan, right?
Somewhat.
From what I heard.
There's financial poor, and then there's, okay, my dad and my uncle were both professional fighters. I have a foot in the fucking door.
But you have to want to do it, and you're still poor.
Yeah.
So, again, does that make you want to have a foot in the door already? I'm like, yeah, but do you feel like you're forced to do this?
Maybe.
Sit down. Sit down.
That's all things we don't even know.
I don't know either.
I mean, it's like he could walk into a gym.
Oh, sure.
But, you're Floyd Mayweather's son.
Yeah.
You're Floyd Jr., come on.
Here's the point. What if you didn't want to do that? What then?
Yeah, he's probably fucked.
Yeah, that's right. Now press play.
Talking about and what are they preaching? What do they want? Socialism, so that nobody else has the opportunity to become what they've become. They're the ones that are pushing forward.
Socialism.
Yes,
that's not real socialism. Well,
are you kidding? George Soros doesn't want socialist policies. Jeff Bezos, the richest man in the world, doesn't want socialist policies. They want to make sure that no one else has the opportunity to get to where they got.
We need to discuss our language.
That might be true.
No.
How?
Because if it was actually socialism in a more adept society, then is that really socialism? Did Stalin really like socialism, communism? Was that really communism, or is that some sort of corrupt fucking dictatorship where it was just merely look, I'm going to use the word.
Yeah.
Here's the word. See, it's communism. See, it kills people.
Facades en masse to say. See, I'm this. I'm really here to
capitalism. Look all the imperial action that's going on. Yep, it's capitalism. Because they just say it on TV and they tell you, guys, we live in a capitalistic society. Yeah. It's like, no, it isn't.
Yeah.
It isn't. It is not. Because this shit happens. Yeah. And it's no longer a system.
Yeah, maybe the small guys follow the rules, but those guys like Soros and whoever the fuck,
yeah,
I doubt they follow the.
Like how rich are they?
They're billionaires.
Oh, so they can help people.
Yeah.
As far as in the lower tier levels, which is that's all they could fucking do.
Well, Bezos doesn't even pay his workers correctly, and he's somehow the richest as far as known amount of wealth in the world.
He's an asshole.
Yeah.
Unless he's bad.
In you, because
we do.
Here's what my socialism looks like. Take Jeff Bezos' wealth from him, except for a reasonable stipend for him to live on. Something like, he can have 10 million a year or something. Tax Amazon to the ground.
So the rich people.
Here's the problem with that.
Force.
Yeah, first of all, you're stealing the money. Second of all, just say fuck it. Like, okay, the U.S. is now changing from dollars to blah blah blah.
Mm.
Say, okay. But you got to start from zero now, Jeff. Like everyone else is.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. Or you just say, listen, we're not going to interact with you on anything. You can stay in your $70 billion town. Mm. It's all yours, man. Do whatever you want there. Good luck, though.
Pay for 85% of all of the taxes. You think they should pay for even more?
Do you think
that's fact? That's fact. Yes.
Don't look at me with
I'm telling you,
fact
that's a fact.
Face.
The top 10% pay for 85% of all the taxes. When people say they're going to raise their taxes more, I'm just like, how much more? Should we just say just pay for all the taxes?
I say this, that there is no. When you're about to use an example from the natural world, and then
I'm talking about America,
backed
by the way.
off it,
I forgot that
you?
I'm in. No, I was gonna say the instinct when you're in the natural world is that you feed your family first. You're not the idea that socialism tries to create goes against human.
We are no longer in the natural world, are we? We're in a world of sort of accumulation and excess, and I don't think it's even working. I wonder about sort of look, I want, because you could say, where do you draw the line? Because look at me, I've got money now, I'm not poor anymore, and I'm not going, right, I'll just take everything that's, the thing that I do agree with when I see sort of right-wing commentators talk, they talk about people that are, in inverted commas, from the left, and they go, well, why don't you put some refugees in your house? Why don't you give up your money? And the reason is because people are selfish, and in all of us, there is a kind of battle between, some of my impulses, Candace, are, I just want pleasure and fun, and I don't care about anything except myself. That's in me. Mm-hmm. That's in me, and it's strong. But I personally think I don't feel good when I live that way. There are consequences for me, and there are consequences for others. So I kind of want to live within systems that encourage collective and communal values. That instead
of we're talking about theft.
No, we're not talking about
demanding
theft.
that people give up their stuff as theft. But it sounds pretty when you say
encourage
incentives. No, when the government comes.
Just turn it right into a talking point. He's trying to lean towards meaning, and she's turning it into.
Oh, you already paused.
Turning it into talking points. Good.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Exactly. It's like just flies right over her head. She's not listening. She's like, theft. You mean? It's like, listen, you twat. Listen.
I think she's just calculating an argument to rebut, without fully embracing the idea.
She's talking about the internal battle between good and evil.
Yeah.
That's what he's talking about. You mean theft? It's like, holy shit, are you fucking lost?
Yeah.
Damn, dude. Alright.
Yeah, we could probably end it there. It's a random spot. I started at a random spot, let's end it at a random spot.
I don't know what to say to her when I see her.
What's the meaning of life, Candace? Yeah. Tell us. Free market? Less government? All right, thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you feel like. I mean, definitely just subscribe because I told you so. And affirmative action. Subscribe to us. Comment, agree, disagree, whatever. We accept either one. And And we give you a metric style, Emily Haynes metric, Canadian indie rock band style, Pep Boy from Fallout. Thumbs down. Fuck!
Say you wanna get in, and then you wanna get out. When you get the money to buy yourself a castle, how will you wear your leisure? You zipper back and front on the fence together. Weekends in leather, flip to the right and slip back to the left. For handshakes to the right.